Player 2 has joined the game.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 308 of the Two Player Co-op Podcast. As always, I'm one of your hosts here, Kevin, along with my brother from my mother, Sean.
How we doing?
I just realized you don't have coffee. No coffee? No talk?
Well,
you can't make coffee.
I can't make coffee, and I can't go to Starbucks either because we live in the Wild West here.
Yeah.
Apparently.
There was a shooting. Did you see what Jess sent?
Yeah.
They shoplifted and the cops were waiting for him. They were like, oh no, it seems like a mission in GTA. They walk out and they go, huh! Bang, bang, bang. And then the cops arrest them. We had people shooting up our local Academy sports store.
Right next to my Starbucks. So I couldn't get Starbucks tonight. Power's out at my house for some reason, so I couldn't make coffee.
Do you want me to go get you water?
No, I'm good.
Okay. We're going to be talking a lot.
It's
just
fine.
a little bit of coffee talk without the coffee. But if this is the first time you're ever seeing, hearing, or listening to us, this is the Two Player Co-op Podcast, where just about every week, two brothers get together to tell you everything you need to know about in the world of video games. If you like that, make sure you like the video, subscribe, share it with your friends, family, and everyone in betwixt. If you only listen on audio services, that's cool too. Just give us a thumbs up, 5-star review, or whatever your service allows. If you really like us, you can go to patreon.com/2playercoop, where you get these benefits, which stack at every level. For $1, you become a booster, where you get the podcast live on YouTube 1 day early. $3 makes you a sponsor, where you get a bonus episode every month. $5 makes you a producer, where you can watch us record the podcast live on YouTube, as we are doing right now. $10 makes you an affiliate, where you get access to a monthly Q&A episode. I just realized that it's January. Guys, we will record it next week, because I assume this podcast is going to be a long one. So I will post that quickly. Geez, you need to move out of the city.
We ain't in the city.
We're in the burbs. $20 makes you a partner, where you can choose the bonus episode topic and record with us if you so choose. Some of our patrons deserve a shout out, just like our affiliates. James Solar, make sure you check out James Games and More on YouTube. James, you're getting so much run out of Prime 2 that it is amazing. I did not realize how involved this game was.
They're pretty legit.
There has to be like 1,000 items and E-tanks and missiles, and like it's just crazy.
Yeah.
So go check out James over James Games and More on YouTube. Sarah Solar, John Tingley, Derek Bamford, and Mom. I'm not going to dance. Chris!
There he is.
What up, cutie? That's going to be weird for people that don't see the live chat. Also, our producers, Steve Appleton, Aunt Sue, Dustin Downs, and Chris Peralta, Speak of the Devil. Check out PS Rewind on YouTube. Chris, where are you at? We need some posts. We need some uploads. Merch. If you like cool t-shirts and the like, you can go to teespring.com. No. /stores/2player-co-op. My New Year's, by the way, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all that crap. One of my resolutions should be to figure out how to make when you go like this, I can just hit a button and it works.
You should also get one that is just like a pop-up that just has all the tier information in it. So you don't have to read it every time.
That is a good point.
Yeah.
They got to read fast.
You don't have to read it. You just, hey, if you're interested in
just
becoming a
do the
patron,
patrons.
patreon.com/2playercoop with these benefits. Ding, pops up.
Okay.
And then you can just kind of leave it up there while you're doing the shout-outs so people have time to read.
That is correct. Reminder, I've only heard from Dustin and James. We're running out of time. I would like to do the draft for the Fantasy Metacritic League this week or next week at the latest, early next week. We can get on a Zoom call. We'll make schedules work. It doesn't matter. We're not recording anything, so you don't even have to be on video, anything like that. We just all need to be able to talk so I can write down who's doing what. Dustin, when you're watching this, I want to be able to have you on here, so let me know what your schedule is. But yeah, if you're a patron, let me know. Fantasy draft 2023 is going to be nuts, so I think this could be a lot of fun.
Agreed.
So just a reminder to our patrons, hit me up, let me know.
Speaking of fantasy.
Oh! He is all that is man!
You can call me the champ.
Zingy zangy noise. What is a zingy zangy noise with the pop? What is a zingy zangy noise? So he's singing for the
swang.
No, that was shwang. Shwing, not zingy zang.
Yeah, I won my fantasy championship. Limped into the playoffs. Was happy that I won a game. Then played the number one team, and I'm like, oh, I might actually have a chance because Jalen Hurts was out. Beat him, made it to the finals. Derrick Henry sat, which also helped me.
That is correct.
Still to deal with Patrick Mahomes and Kelsey, but
and you lost your quarterback after
I lost
and a half.
I lost my quarterback Tua the week before, so I played his backup Teddy, who got knocked out. I don't know, somewhere in the third quarter or something. So I got like 10 points out of my quarterback. That's my quarterback. But yeah, Christian McCaffrey came up big. Mm-hmm. Brandon Ayuk came up big.
Just imagine if you did get Purdy. Like, he didn't put up a lot of numbers, but
compared to Teddy,
you would have won instead of by 20 or 19, whatever it was. You would have won at least by 30, I would think.
Yeah. But yeah, first time ever winning. I feel like if I never win it again, I'm okay. That's one of those things that I'm like, at least I won once. I really didn't think I would ever win. And then, I don't know. Sometimes things just fall how you need them to.
Sometimes that's how the cookie crumbles. I won 13 years ago, and I will probably never win again. I had one of the worst teams ever this year. Freaking fantasy football. By the way, football, my God. Just remember that it is just a freaking game.
Yes.
That's what I will say after what happened last night. It's just a game. It does not really matter. It doesn't matter if you're a fan or not a fan. It does not matter. People's lives freaking matter. So, DeMar, we're all thinking about you. I love that his GoFundMe for the toy drive is now
like 4 million or something.
It was 4.5 last time I saw it, but that was a few hours ago, so I assume it's over 5 at this point. By the time this goes live for everybody, hopefully it's over 6 or 7. Like, who knows? But
they said he had to be resuscitated twice on the field before.
Oh yeah, because they started putting him into the ambulance, and then
they
like,
took him back
take him
down.
He's gone. Like,
crazy.
It does really put, it, or hopefully it does. I've got some friends that are like, play the game. What are we doing? The standings. I'm like, they're all a bunch of assholes. Like, I do not like. The Bills have always been my second team behind the Giants. If they don't get home field because they have to put this as a tie, I don't care.
Right, yeah.
I want this kid, and he is a kid. He's 24.
Yeah.
Like, I want him to be okay. That's all that matters. If you're whining about the schedule and stuff, man. So, yeah, that's enough of that. Let's talk about Haffy stuff. Sean. Yes, I said Haffy.
I thought you said Haffy.
Yep. Sean, anything you want to talk about before we get into everything? Sean.
Yeah.
Make a zingy zangy noise and let me know what you have been playing this week.
Sing sing. I don't know what that was.
I know, Chris, but what the hell was that? I'm trying to read and you're going, sing sang. Chris, I know, but what they're saying is, oh, it's so late in the season. Vert, it's so late in the season. Like, what are you going to do? Blah, blah, blah. Who cares? Call it a tie and move on. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're all they're playing a game. We play video games. None of this stuff actually matters in real life, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So Sean, zing zang.
All right. Going back 2 weeks because it's been a while. I think over those 2 weeks, I started and finished and platinumed Ender Lillies. This was like a few days before Christmas, maybe.
Now, this is a Vania?
It's
right?
a Vania. I basically just looked up best PlayStation Metroidvanias.
Right.
And that was on there. It was one I had seen before but didn't really know anything about it.
Now, was this, do you know, I can't remember, was this extra? I assume it was just extra.
No, I bought it. It's not even on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just in the mood. Because I think so I had been playing, what do you call it? Dead Cells. And I got to what I think might be like the last boss, or probably like the last boss, but then even when you beat him, something changes and he's no longer the last boss. It's probably that kind of thing.
You gotta do it again, yeah.
But then I died, and it was real tough getting there. And when I died, like, he smoked me. I haven't, it was the first time I died to a boss. None of the bosses have been that difficult. And he smoked me. And then it's like, all right, back to the beginning. And I'm like,
I'm done.
I'm just like, I'm no better than I was. If I'm really that far away from being able to beat him, I don't know. It just like totally demotivated me. And I'm like, I kind of just want a normal Metroidvania.
That's what I loved. Sidebar. That's what I loved so much about freaking Hades. Like, it felt like even when I died, if I didn't get far, I'm like, okay, I got more of like the black diamond things and like the souls and whatever. Like, it always felt like I was doing something even when I sucked.
Exactly, yeah. So it was between Ender Lilies and Salt and Sanctuary?
Sacrifice?
Whatever the first one was.
Sacrifice, yeah.
I mean, I want to play both of them, but I'm like, I might as well play the first one first. But so I did Ender Lilies. It's a pretty... I had a couple problems with you people that made the game.
It looks kind of like Hollow Knight, right?
It feels like Hollow Knight.
Okay.
It looks like Hollow Knight. It sounds like Hollow Knight. Yeah. The map is not good. It's like there's just like a rectangle, like a box, and it might be shaped like this or it might be shaped like this, depending on like if it's a vertical room or but there's no... You could be in a room that looks like this that you can run through in like 5 seconds, and then you go to the next room that looks identical and it's like huge. Like the scale means nothing. All it shows you is you're in this room.
Okay.
And then it shows lines like there's probably an exit up here that takes you to that room, there. But like those don't always line up. Sometimes you walk off the screen to go to a new room. Sometimes there's like a door in the background that you push up, or triangle, I think, to go through. And it'll take you on like this path. The map is just terrible.
Do you have a map while you're playing?
You do.
But is it like the Metroid map, like the Symphony map, or is it what you're saying?
No, it's the same thing. The map, it's either full screen or the mini map, but it's just like it shows you the room you're in, but there's no sense of scale or anything.
So they thought they were being cute, I assume.
I don't know what the reason was. But other than that, I don't really have many complaints. It's not like the best. It's probably not even in my top 5 Metroidvanias, maybe top 10. But other than that, I can't really point to anything that was wrong with it per se. It's just, it was fine. It's a Metroidvania.
Right.
So how bad can it be? Platinum wasn't too bad. It was basically just a... go everywhere, collect everything. They at least show you one playthrough. Okay. They at least show you the rooms change color from, I think, blue to gold on the map if you've gotten everything in there. So while you're doing collectible hunting, you at least know...
and 3.
Exactly. So you at least know where to go to get stuff that you've missed.
So guide or no guide?
The only time I used a guide... There was a couple of collectibles that I'm just like, I've been all over this room and there's nothing. And then I eventually found it with the guide. And the final boss, he was smoking me. And so you get spirits, which are like your like side attacks. And then you get relics, which are things you equip to like give you more health or let you jump higher or let you move faster or blah, 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 blah. And I couldn't beat the final boss. And I looked it up and then somebody was like, try using these spirits and equip these relics and use this attack when he's doing this and this attack when he's doing that, whatever. And once I read that, I was like, oh, well, perfect. And then I beat him with no problem. So yeah, it was fun. It was my last platinum. I think I got it.
Oh my God, John. What the hell, Truman Show? We're going to talk about that here in a second. Holy crap. Is it as bad as Batman Arkham Origins Blackgate map? Are you kidding me?
So I played that game for about 5 minutes and not a good map.
Well, but that's because I had already killed everybody.
But yeah, it was fine. I liked it. If you're a Metroidvania fan and you haven't played it, check it out. I think it's worth a playthrough. Other than that, I think all I've played...
Okay, so do CP. And then we'll hold up on CC.
Yeah. Callisto Protocol, if anybody couldn't crack the code. I'm not sure where I stand on it. Along the same theme, except even worse, there is no map. And if ever a game needed a map, like, okay, you got through this area. Okay, now you're in this new area. And you go into this hall. And you can go left. And you can go right. And if you go left, you can go left. And then maybe you can go right or straight. And if you go right, maybe you can go left or up a ladder. And anytime you choose a path, it's not like, oh, it's just a room with some collectibles. Okay, let me go. It's like that path continues on. And sometimes they circle around and lead back somewhere else, but I don't even realize that I'm back to where I was until, because there's no map. I'm just like, this looks familiar. Or wait, am I back? If I go, oh, that is. Okay, I'm back in the same room. And it's just so confusing. And I'm sure they did it on purpose.
There's a point where immersion goes way too far.
Yeah. So
it's still a freaking game.
It needs a map.
So whenever I borrowed this is a guide game, I guess. Or no?
It depends. I mean, it's not like, I get kind of lost. My bigger issue is I at least am considering getting the platinum. Okay. And I'm assuming to get the platinum, you need to find everything. And so my bigger issue is if I go right and then I go left, let's see what's that way. There's been times where like I jumped off of something and you can't get back up.
And you're sliding.
And so I'm like, well, now who knows what I've missed by not getting to explore those other paths.
Well, you got to go left and then right next time.
And so it's just so annoying. Like, my God, it needs a map.
Yeah.
The map aside, it's fun. It feels very just slow and stiff. Like, I just feel like, I don't know.
Like, there's no sprint, right?
You can sprint, but even when you sprint, it's like a fast walk. I don't know. It just feels very like slow and plodding, and it's not particularly scary. I mean, there's parts that are just like, oh God.
Yeah.
But it's nothing like Resident Evil 7 or 8 or PT. It's not like scary. There's an occasional like enemy that jumps out from behind a corner, and you're like, come on, that was cheap. It's fine. It looks beautiful.
I've heard people say that it's like one of the best looking next gen games, even though it's cross gen.
Right. It looks unbelievable. I finally have a gun, and it's fine. I tend to just use my melee almost exclusively, but now I'm starting to use my gun because I keep opening up little bins and stuff with ammo, but I can't get it because I'm full of ammo because I haven't been using my gun. So I'm like, well, I might as well use my gun if the ammo is that plentiful.
So there's no briefcase Resident Evil kind of a thing.
Not that I've gotten to. The dodging, if anybody hasn't heard, it's kind of weird. Anytime you're like 1v1ing an enemy, it's fine because you literally just hold left or right, either direction. It doesn't matter.
Which is so...
And you kind of just wait for the enemy to swipe at you, and you'll dodge. And you kind of wait a half a beat, and if they're not about to attack again, you
hit them.
Beat the crap out of them. And then you like hit, and then it knocks them back. And you're like, okay, I know they're going to come back. Now, if you held left before, you have to hold right this time. So now you're holding right. And then he attacks. You'll automatically dodge, wait a half a beat. Oh, he's going to attack again, so I better hold left. Okay, it looks like he's done attacking. Whack, whack, whack. And just rinse and repeat. Now, if you've got multiple enemies, it gets a little tricky. But even then, it's kind of like bad movies where it's like, if y'all two things would just attack me at the same time, you'd probably kill me. But instead, they're like taking turns. But then it's like...
It's like Last Jedi where there's like a red... He's like,
right.
Nobody touches him. He just...
But there's some confusing things where I'm like... All right, if this guy attacked me and I was holding left, now I need to hold right. But this new guy's attacking me. Do I still hold right, or can I keep holding left?
This is why you just held left on circle.
And then this guy hit me because I didn't dodge right quick enough. So did I miss my chance to dodge right and now I should go back to left? Or does that mean I dodge right next time? Like, there's just weird. The dodging mechanic is very odd.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem particularly challenging. I don't know how long the game is. I would guess
It's
I'm
supposed to be like 8 to 10, I think.
Oh, then I mean, I'm probably at least a quarter, if not a third of the way through. It doesn't seem that difficult. I think beating it on hard is very reasonable.
I think I've heard that the final boss sucks.
Really?
Like the bosses up until then are fine, and then it's like the difficulty goes boom.
Okay.
So
Yeah, so I don't know. It's fine. I don't know. I don't hate it. I'm sure I'm going to beat it. I just wish there was a map. I don't know how this game does not have a map. Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil 8, 2 remake,
even God
3
of War
remake,
with its crappy map.
all
has
these
a map.
But all these games are still terrifying.
Yes.
And does not lower the immersion by the fact that you have a map. You don't like. If this game had a map, it would instantly go. Right now, it's probably like a, I don't know, like a 7 to me. If it had a map, it's up to at least an 8.5, maybe 9. Like, it's good, but
You
the
just
map
have no
thing
idea
just
what you're doing.
drives.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm just always getting lost, and it drives me nuts. But yeah, and then I've also been playing something you've been playing, but we'll get to that in a minute.
We will get to that. So that's it for you?
Yeah, that's it.
So
Also,
yeah.
I got both those 2 games physical. First 2 physical games I've gotten in a while. I am 100% team digital now because now I hate playing 2 games at the same time, having to swap the disc. I'm already like, oh God, like,
Well,
I'm over that already. Like, I'm just digital. I mean, Christmas presents, whatever. It's easy. Just give me the disc, whatever. And then, you know, you can let people borrow it, which is nice. But, and it wouldn't be that bad if I wasn't trying to play them simultaneously. But yeah, the whole switching the disc out, that's already annoying the crap out of me.
When I put the disc in for the game that you got me, which we will wait till the end, all I had to take out was MI Fallout. And that movie is perfect. It's not as good as Maverick. No. Like, I was listening to a podcast where they're like, does this make you like Mission Impossible Fallout less because Maverick's so good? I'm like, no, stop. No. They're both awesome. Like, MI Fallout is the best MI. I cannot wait for Deep Impact Part 1, whatever the hell it's called.
Dead Reckoning?
Yes. It was a D. I got it. Team physical. I know. I like physical games.
I was for the longest time, but now
that I can just pre-order and have it preloaded, and then like when I wake up on a Friday and I'm supposed to be working, I can just be like, okay, I'm gonna play, God of War 3, whatever. But that's why I'm not team physical anymore. All right. So what I have played, Sean, I played a lot. Let's see. So right before Christmas, 2 games I played and beat. I beat Modern Warfare 2 finally. And I went online. I played a little bit. My KD ratio was probably not bad. For me, it was probably like 2 to 3. Like, I held my own.
Okay.
So I should probably just retire at this point. But I did beat it. I will say this. Up until the last 4 or 5 missions, it just felt like more Call of Duty. That is beautiful. But the last few missions, I was like, okay, they're doing stuff that's different. There's vehicle stuff, and there's like, it was so much fun. It really felt like I was playing.
Power's back on.
Okay, good. Like I was playing Mission Impossible Fallout or something. Like, not with the double crosses and all the, like the triple, quadruple crosses and all that crap. But it was just like, it felt like I was playing, or like I was playing The Rock. Not the wrestler, the movie. Like, it was just like blockbuster perfection. And then when you finally beat it and you get rid of the threat, there was a post-credit scene, and I knew the name that they were going to say, but then they said it, and they said it with like a boom, 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 and I was like, holy crap, I guess I'm buying Modern Warfare 3 unless I'm going to be able to play it on Game Pass in 3-4 years, whatever it's going to be. Yeah. Like, it was so much fun. And again, my one complaint, I talked about this a little bit last time, I think, or the time before, whatever it was. The menus in this are garbage. I still don't know how to go on. Like, when I was playing multiplayer, the only way I could figure out to play a multiplayer game is to go on here and you pick a playlist. and there's like 12 different modes, and you just check the modes that you like, and then it will randomly put you into one of those modes. I'm like, I just want to play capture. I want to play domination, capture the flag, or kill confirmed, or I can't remember what the other one was. And I was like, I just want to play domination. I don't want to like have it up to chance. So I ended up just doing that. Like there's no way that I can find to just go on there, the chat, let me know, to just go on there and be like, I want to play domination. Otherwise, unless I just go to the playlist, uncheck everything except domination and say play now. Like the HUD in this is dumb. So completely ridiculously stupid. But I did have fun with the online. I beat the game. Been hearing nothing but good things about the Modern Warfare 2 campaign. Chris, yes, freaking awesome. It's Call of Duty. I still say I do think I like this better than the last Modern Warfare. I still think the original Black Ops is my favorite campaign ever. Probably the original Modern Warfare 2 after that, and then the new Modern Warfare 2. The original Modern Warfare, there's the nuke. It's like, okay, but like the rest of it wasn't that good. Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 2 are above Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare.
But do Modern Warfare...
You're trying to be a smartass and you can't even do it.
Do Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 2 have anything in common?
The characters, yes.
But it's not like a remake. It's a totally different...
It's like there's a new Jack Ryan book out. Whatever. It's, it's rebooted and whatever. It's the same names, but it's different situations and all that stuff.
Okay.
But I love it. It was great. It'll be on my top 10 list, which we'll get to here in a little bit. I also got my second platinum on Timespinner on the Vita. And it made me remember how much I love that little machine that could. It's been just sitting in my bedroom collecting dust, literally, for a very long time. And I fired it up because I was like, I'm probably going to get a certain game for Christmas, I think. So I want to have it charged. And I was like, what do I have on here? Timespinner, huh? Oh, I have no trophies? Oh my God, there's a separate trophy list? Timespinner, it's borderline top 5 Metroidvanias that I've played. We have got to do a top 10 list. I think I like it better than Chasm. I don't know that it's not as good as The Messenger. So then you got Symphony. I didn't beat Hollow Knight, so I defer to you. Now I'm drawing a blank. But like, it's so good. I love so much the way that the attacks work in this game, how you get these different orbs. Like you get a blue orb that's just, it spins. And then you got a green orb that does a sword. And you get an iron orb that's a big hammer. And you get all these different orbs. You can equip 2 at the same time. You get different like special moves based on those orbs. You can level everything up. You can just be like, I'm going all into the, what I did really was the blade orb and the iron orb. So I would be like, it reminds me of, oh my God, what was the guy's, Tony Horton. Was that his name, P90X? He's like,
oh,
sure, hammer. He's like, sword, hammer, sword, hammer. I was going, sword, hammer, sword, hammer. Like I was green, silver. And then my special attack was the big green blade. So much fun. The worst trophy the first time on PS4 was getting the stupid trophy, which I think I told you this. You know how you go into a room, there's the orb, and the thing is floating around.
Yeah.
You have to stop time and get it perfectly. You have to do it without breaking it. First try, I was like, okay, stop time. And then it was like, boom. I was like, no way. Jump, boom, boom, got the trophy. I was like, holy crap, that took me like 25 tries the first time, probably because I was getting so pissed off. But I got that trophy, beat the game, ran through it, New Game Plus. So much fun. If you have not played this game, it's on everything. It doesn't matter like what, like if you care about Platinum or 1,000 gamer score or anything, play this game. If you like Metroidvanias, you cannot go wrong with this. I wish they would make a sequel. I don't even know off the top of my head who made this game, but like beautiful pixel art, great soundtrack, great combat, decent story, lots of time travel and stuff. The music's amazing. Like there's multiple endings. There's kind of like a gauntlet kind of thing you can do in the post game. There's a final boss and then another final boss. Like this game is awesome. And if you have not played it and you like Metroidvanias, like you were saying with Ender Lilies, you've got to play Timespinner. It is that good. 4 years old, 5 years old, whatever it is. The game is so freaking good, and I'm so happy I played it twice. Play Timespinner. Next, John Tingley. Get out of my head. So John Tingley said in the chat, when we were talking about maps, he asked, is it as bad as Batman Arkham Origins Blackgate's map? Guess what game I got for Vita for Christmas? Batman Arkham Origins Blackgate. Sean tried it a little bit. Now, I have not gotten very far in this game because I'm loving so much the game that we'll talk about after this. This map is stupid. You are playing in a 2.5D Arkham game where I'm at a point now where I don't know where to go. I can't move. I can move, but I've beaten every enemy. I've done detective vision. I'm trying to find what's is there a thing I can decode, whatever. There's nothing. I don't know what to do. The map in this, you're moving in a 2.5D environment. So it's basically a side-scrolling Arkham game where you can also go into pipes that are in, like you were saying, that are in the background, or you can go around a corner and then the whole map shifts and then you're going this way. But when you look at the map, you're looking at a top-down 2D map. And I'm there's a question mark here. I'm what the frick is that? There's something over here. Everything is just top-down. You can't rotate. You can't do anything. The map is garbage. I don't know why I wanted this to be pretty much the only Vita physical game that I have. But something about it, I was watching some Arkham video or something where they talked about Blackgate, and they're it's not great, but if you like a game like this, you might like it. And I was meh, I don't want to play it on 3DS. I'd rather play it on Vita. So I put it on my list and I got it. It's I don't know. It's
just turned into Batman. It's
I don't know. It's a game where, for me to get through this, I'm definitely going to have to play this with a guide. Because at this point, so Sean played it for a little bit. I gave him my Vita. He played for 5 minutes. He's I'm running around. There's no bad guys. There's nothing to do.
I couldn't even figure out how to jump.
Have it back. Yeah. Well, you can't jump.
But there's spikes. How do you get past the spikes?
I told you, XX.
So you can jump.
No, you roll.
Oh.
It's like God of War. You can't jump.
Okay.
Unless there's a place where you need to, you hold X and you go, but there is a PS3 version. I thought about that, John, but I didn't want to hook up my PS3. And I love my Vita, and I wanted something to play on it before it dies next year or this year. So, I don't know. I would like to beat it. I loved Arkham Origins. I think it is so criminally underrated when it comes to Batman games because it was not made by Rocksteady and it had some issues at launch. I still say, sorry, James, it's better than Arkham Knight.
So it's the third best out of 4?
Yeah. But the two above it are 9.5 or 10s.
Yeah.
It's a solid 8.5. I think Arkham Knight is a 3. I don't really, but it's that damn Batmobile. But I want to beat it. Once I beat this next game, which I'm getting close to, I'm definitely going to go back to it, and then I got to figure out what I'm going to do for the rest of January. Oh, yeah, Dead Space. So, Callisto Protocol. Are you in on Dead Space?
I think so. I don't really know a whole lot about it, other than it's probably pretty similar to Callisto. I don't find space stuff, whether it's games, movies, whatever, very scary. I know Dead Space is supposed to be pretty scary, but a
lot of people say it's the best survival horror game ever made.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I'm in, but I don't know. If there's a map, I'm probably in.
I think there's a map. For me, I think I'm just going to wait like I did for Callisto and see reviews before I spend $70 on it.
Yeah.
Because again, I've still got a past protocol for Dead Space. There you go. That's kind of where I'm at. Arkham Origins is better than Asylum and Night. James. Wow. Dead Space is on par with RE4. Hold on.
Wow.
James, virtual hug. That's awesome.
I will go one further.
Oh.
I think Asylum is the best of all of them.
I've
never played Origins.
It's not a hot take. A lot of people, I feel like it's become more, when they first came out, everybody said City was better.
I just feel like City,
Over the years,
it's like
it's now like-
a city, but I didn't really have that much fun. I had way more fun thwipping and thwapping around New York in Spider-Man than I did.
I was gonna say that's not bad.
No, I'm saying more than I did Arkham City. I think Arkham Asylum was perfect. That's the closest thing I've seen to just a 3D Metroidvania, other than Metroid Prime.
I think if they didn't screw up the final boss fight so bad, it would. I would probably say it's better. But I think Arkham Knight I think Arkham City's a 9.5. Asylum's probably a 9. It's just that last stupid boss fight that is so dumb and like why? But why did it have to end like this? But even City ends where you're fighting Clayface or whatever, and then you know who just dies, and it's like you carry him out and everything. It's like what? Haven't played Origins, but I'd go Asylum over City and Night. Okay,
there you go.
It's I think at this point it's probably 60-40 that most people prefer Asylum over City. Yeah.
I feel like whenever I hear
over
people
the last
talk,
10 years.
Yeah. I feel like anytime I hear somebody talk about Arkham City, it's like the greatest game ever, and Spider-Man isn't as good as Arkham City, and Arkham City this and Arkham City that. And I'm like, A, no. B, it's not even the best of the series, but I don't know.
I think the problem with Spidey is that it mimicked Arkham, but it added so much to it that you can't I don't know. It's like, what if, so beat 'em ups that came out after Final Fight, it's like, well, yeah, but Final Fight did it first. Well, okay, good job.
Double Dragon.
Yeah. I prefer Gotham Knight over Arkham Knight. Both are 30 frames per second. I can't do Gotham Knight. I'm still hoping they patch it at some point, but and I read the spoilers. I heard what the big twist is at the end and the final boss fight. I'm like, oh my God, could it be more up my alley? But I just can't. So January, I either gotta beat this PSP game or do I do Red Dead?
No. I mean, I would love for you to, but
I
it's
spent
not going to happen.
$26.24 on this stupid game when it could have been free on PS Plus, which I upgraded 2 weeks later. I feel like
I would love for you to play it, but I don't think it's going to happen. But yes, I would say you should play it.
But I have to get through what, 4 hours, 5 hours, 10 hours?
I have no idea. I got through an hour, and it felt like about 4, and I was still just in the prologue. And the controls are just terrible. I'm sure you get used to them, but I did not like the controls.
Well,
I went to pick up my hat and it's push triangle, and then I went to pick up some ammo and it's push square or something. I'm like, why are they not the same button? I pretty much checked out after that.
I don't know, John. I don't know if I can get over it. All right, let's talk about happy things, at least for me. I'm so curious to get Sean's thoughts on this. Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion. Thoughts? You have not played as much as I have, so I'll let you go first.
The jury's still out.
It's a must play, but man, it's long. Yeah, just tell me how long the freaking prologue is before I can actually play the stupid cowboy game.
I was maybe stupidly expecting more like 7 Remake. And the actual gameplay, I guess, kind of is. But I see what you're saying about it being kind of like Peace Walker. It almost seems, and it makes sense because was it a PSP game? Or
yes.
Vita? PSP? It still very much feels like a PSP game. And I'm not a big fan. Link's Awakening, good, not great. Samus Returns, good, not great. I kind of feel like that's how this is. You are remaking a flawed game, or at least a game that was in a flawed presentation or something, and you almost stayed too faithful to it or something. It just feels out of place. And again, I'm not looking for sympathy. I know I did it to myself. I've already looked up the Platinum. It's pretty much impossible. It's not impossible, but you have to beat it on hard.
How do you do 99,999 damage to somebody?
Oh, I didn't even see that. I just looked up the guide. But it said 40 or 50 hours.
Yeah.
Beat it on hard or expert or whatever. But apparently, unless they patch it out, you can just play right up to the final boss, switch the difficulty, and beat it, and it'll pop. But basically everything in the game is missable. Other than the automatic story trophies, everything's missable because there's no stage select. You can't go back. So I'm just like, okay, well, the Platinum's out. So now it just becomes, how much do I like this game? How much time do I want to invest into it? The little I've played, I like it. I don't know. Okay, the slots. I do not understand it. I basically don't pay attention to it. Something pops up on the screen and it's like, hey, unlimited AP. I'm like, okay, cool. But like, it just seems so, all of a sudden I'll be like, hey, you leveled up. I'm like, okay, because the slots landed on something?
Because the slots landed.
Hey, your material leveled up. Leveled up. Why? Because of the slots?
No.
I guess?
That's like action based. The slots, the only way you can level up, and they say if you notice whenever you level up, it's like if you hit 777s, you go up a level, period. It doesn't matter. You could be stuck on one level for 10 hours. It doesn't matter how many enemies you kill, how many missions you do, how many bosses you beat. Nothing matters. It all matters on that DMW.
It reminds me, even though I never played it, I don't know why all these portable, thank you, games decided to do this kind of crap. Paper Mario did it on the 3DS with the stickers. You have like cards or stickers that are your attacks. It's not a bad game, but I didn't like that. Kingdom Hearts did it. The portable version of Kingdom Hearts had like a weird, I think it was similar. You get cards and you use them to attack. Sacrilege to even mention, Metal Gear Acid had the same kind of thing. This game has the slots. Why does everybody feel compelled to add this weird gimmick anytime they make a portable game? It is not needed. I've never seen one that I liked. Now this, like I said, it seems like you can just kind of ignore it and whatever happens, happens, and you just go about your business and, oh, I got a limit break? Okay, I guess I'll use it. Like, whatever pops up on the screen, I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
So,
and I keep getting one that says like engage,
endure activated.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't even know what that is.
No, I don't either. Everything else I know, not endure.
So I'm just like, it just drives me nuts. I like the story. I mean, what I've seen so far. I've read what the story is, but it was years ago. I don't remember anything because I figured it was a game I was never going to play. Yeah. But I don't really remember. I know Zach's basic backstory, but I'm sure some other stuff happens in this game. But so I got to the part where I'm talking to Sing, and that's when.
By the way, Song.
Oh, is it?
He says song. I'm like, TCENG. How is that song?
Yeah, weird.
Or sung, whatever. I'm like, no, that's an E.
Yeah, I don't get that. And that's when I was texting you. I'm like, okay, it sounds like this is where I need to go next. And it's like, aren't you wanting to go do this thing first so you can unlock summons? I'm like, okay. It's like, go do mission 8-1-1 or whatever. I'm like, okay, start or options. Missions. Great. It's grayed out. I'm like, well, I can't do a mission. I go to that stupid computer that it told me to go to in the beginning of the game, but there's just a guy standing in front of it. I can't do anything with the computer. It always just talks to the guy who basically says, like, good morning. He says nothing worthwhile. I'm like, how do I do the stupid mission? Oh, you have to be standing on the save thing to access the missions. Okay, well, at least now I know. So I started making my way through some of those, like, I talked to somebody out in the street, one of the like security guards, and was like, "Oh, I bet we're tougher than you." So I started like doing a few of those. I got to one that was 2 stars, and the previous one I had done that was 1 star, I struggled with a little bit. I'm like, I'm not gonna mess with a 2-star yet. And I have like 10 different missions I could be doing right now, and I don't know, is Sung's mission one of those that I can access by going through the menu or by talking to him, or are there missions you can only access by talking to people that you can't get to through the menu?
No.
I just feel like stuff has not been explained very well, and I'm just very confused. But the actual gameplay, I'm enjoying.
So the only way you can do missions are on those save spots where you hit triangle, you pick a
So
mission.
what's going to happen if I go talk to Sung and I say, now that I've actually got the ability to use summons, is he going to be like, okay, go over to the save spot and choose my mission? Is that all he's going to say?
No, he's going to say, okay, let's go out on the next story beat, whatever.
So you can do missions without going through the menu.
Story missions are not in the menu.
Oh, so none of those things from the menu.
Correct. So everything,
that's all side quests.
Everything in the triangle manual is the side quest. Yes.
Okay. See, now the more I'm learning, I'm like, I think I'm enjoying it, and I definitely want to see how the story plays out. But the presentation, I think, is just awful.
So I think,
it's not as much of a remake as having never played the original.
It's a remaster.
Yeah.
I think I'm over 10, 12% on the missions, but I'm loving the story so much, I want to see it through. Here's where I'm at. When I was at the point you are, I was like, I don't know about this. It's the one thing that I didn't really like, now I've gotten used to, that I thought you would like, is you're walking around and then it's like random encounter. It's like, boom.
Combat mode activated, or whatever.
I would think, like, RPG nerds would love this crap. I'm like, I didn't see anybody. Why is there people here now? Also, at some point, you got to use a sniper rifle, which is just freaking hilarious. That's all I'll say. But, like, the further you get into it, the DMW, it gets to the point when I'm now in chapter 9 out of 10. I'm only level 28 or something. I've done some missions and stuff, and I'm like, whatever. I've when you get to a certain point, so you know how you've got your 4 materia slots, and then you can equip accessories. Can you only do 1 right now?
2.
Okay. You can get one of the missions when you go through like 5 or 6 of them, which the missions are like 2 or 3 minutes. You get a backpack, so you get 1 more slot. And there's another thing you can do where you get another slot, so you can equip more accessories and stuff like that. The further you get into the game, there are more characters that you meet, which give you every character you meet that's like named pretty much
something new on your
unlocks a limit break.
Whatever.
So I've got like 7, 8, 10 different limit breaks now. You will fight bosses as summons that you don't get them as a limit break, but what you can do then is you go to the mission thing,
you fight them again. Yeah.
So like Ifrit, I got him, boom, okay. And then I was like, nah, I'm just not bored, but I'm like, I want to do some of these missions. So I fought the second summon boss, which I won't say because I don't want to spoil it, even though I guess they're in every game, whatever. And I got that as a summons, and it was freaking awesome. The further you get into the game, the more everything makes sense. And this, like, the thing I did not understand until I played it, and I didn't really fall in love with until I was 5-6 hours into it, was this DMW wheel thing. Like, when I heard about this game, I thought it was turn-based, and your turns just depend on this friggin' slot machine. I'm like, what the frick is happening? No, it's one of those things where it is really, you just ignore it.
Yeah.
And it'll pop up. If you get a limit break, you get a limit break, it's going to be pop up, and it's going to be like, you got songs, level 2 or level 4, whatever limit break, or you get an octaslash, and you just hit triangle. As soon as you get it, you want to use it. Even if you get a certain character that does a healing thing.
The only thing I would say against that, and it was when I was fighting Ifrit, I think, when they get that like ability gauge,
you got to go off. You got to get.
No, I know, but if it's a boss that I know has that ability, if I get a limit break, I'm like, I'm gonna hold on to it till I see that bar, so I can make sure I knock him out and it goes down.
I had one of the, I don't know if it was a summons that I was fighting or just a regular boss, but he got his ability thing, and I was like across the arena. I was like, crap, whoa, I've got a limit break. Psh, triangle. I'm like, oh, boom. I'm like, yeah, gotcha, bitch. And then it's like, ability 100%. It does not count.
No, it did when I did it.
Well, then maybe he was already doing it when I hit the limit break or something. But yeah. There are so many characters in this game that I did not... I cannot wait to get to the end of this, which is why I've just been kind of mainlining it. Oh, by the way, when you get to a point where it's like, are you sure you want to continue? You won't be able to do any missions. Complete BS. You get to a save point, it's like, pick a mission. So just don't worry about that. Until you get to like chapter 10, I assume. Then you want to worry about it. But...
what did you have for dinner? Mexican?
Yeah. The way this game starts, I was like, what the frig is happening?
Yeah.
And then I'm like,
that was very Metal Gear.
Okay. Yeah, for real. Hi, bye. It starts awesome. When I booted up the game and that friggin' music kicked in, I was
and
like,
the train. I'm like, this is.
I was like,
okay.
how is this happening? Obviously, we know Sephiroth's in it. Have you seen him yet?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As I'm going through the game, I'm starting to piece together what I think maybe Rebirth is going to be. But I still don't know. Like, there's things that happen in this game that I'm like, I remember that.
Well, what I'm also,
Remake.
since I don't really remember anything that I read about the story like years ago, I'm curious, are they going the same route with this that they did with
No.
Remake, where they're changing things and introducing this like alternate, or this is literally the exact story of the
This
original?
is the exact story,
Okay.
and that's what's so weird. There's sometimes there you can tell the cutscenes in this that were remastered. And then it seems like the cutscenes, as you get to the end of a chapter, it seems like they're not as high quality. And I'm like, that looks like a PSP cutscene. And then it's like, chapter's over and the trophy pops. I was like, oh, okay, that's weird that you did that. But
Yeah.
I don't know. This game, it's kind of weird that we don't have a party.
I was wondering, do you never get a party?
Not yet, no. And I mean, I'm in chapter 9 out of 10.
I don't know that I have a problem with it. In this kind of game, I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
In turn-based games, you want a party. In this, I'm like, I don't want to have anybody else. I don't want to have somebody else that I need to worry about controlling.
Right.
So I'm okay with it.
But in 7 Remake, it was perfect.
It's been a while since I've played.
But like you've got Barrett, there's like, ha ha, bitch. Like if you switch to him, there's like floating guys, and Cloud can't hit him with his sword.
Yeah.
It's like, beep, 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 beep. Also, the Buster Sword in this game. So now they're trying to mimic my voice, which does not work for that stupid dog. Have you met the character with the Buster Sword?
Yeah.
I assume you have. Did you know about him? Is he in 7?
No.
Okay.
But I think I remember the name from when I read the story of Crisis Core, but I don't remember what his story arc is. I don't remember. Yeah.
There's a lot of twists and turns. There's characters that are in this that I had no idea were in it. I just, like I said, this game has actually blown my mind. Like, I cannot believe, and it's one of those games where it's like, it's fine. It's getting better. It's getting better. It's getting really good. It's getting good. It's getting good. And it's like the story progression, as well as the gameplay additions as you go through this game, they get better and better as it goes. You get different abilities, you get more ability, like everything just works. And I am shocked, and when we go in our top 10 list here in a minute, I'm shocked at how high I'm going to put this game. Because I love it. I love this story. I love that I've not been spoiled, or if I was spoiled, I've just completely forgotten it. Crisis Core is awesome. And I'm so glad I got to play it. There's so many things that connect to 7, and I don't even know 7 other than playing 7 Remake. Like, I know the music and stuff, and I love when you do a mission.
Yeah.
Like, yes. There's things I remember from 7. I'm like, why, when we went to this playground, was there like this vision of Aerith and a materia thing dropping? And I'm like, oh my God, that's the playground. That is not a spoiler, because it's not like, you know, he doesn't die, whatever. It's nothing like.
If you've played
that.
7, the original 7, a lot of this would make a lot more sense.
Yeah.
It's all
Pipes.
And it's story that you have heard. I'm trying to think of what to compare it to. It's almost like Star Wars and Rogue One. Like, you know the gist of what happened, but then Rogue One fills in all the holes, basically. That's kind of what this is. I assume. I mean, from what I remember of...
It's,
yeah.
But what I'm wondering... This is making me want to go beat this and jump right into the PS5 version of 7 Remake. Like,
I started playing through it again, and I was doing it with the intention of getting the platinum, but I just don't know. And then something came out, and then I never touched it again. Maybe Horizon? No, maybe it was probably longer ago than that. But something came out and I stopped playing it, started playing something else, and then that was it. But
I can't believe how much I like this game, and we will talk about it here when we do our top 10 list.
yeah.
That's it for Crisis Core. Sean, should we do our top 10s or the wrap up first?
Let's do the top 10.
Okay. Top 10 games of 2022. Obviously, just know that these are our opinions. These are our thoughts on our top 10 favorite games. We're not saying, oh, this is technically better than whatever. Like, remember when Kevin hated The Last of Us Part 2 and he still made it number 4, but he thinks he should have made it number 40 because it's a technical masterpiece, even though it's one of the most bullshit stories that was ever told in a video game.
Or when you had Death Stranding as your number 1 game for the year, but then when we did our top 50, you had RE2 Remake better than it.
Yeah, and then I played Director's Cut, and I was like, this is like a top 15 game of all time for me above RE2.
Good, bad, man.
Foot up your ass, man. Honorable mentions. Before that, I got a lot of problems. Do you have any most disappointing games or anything like that?
Not really. I mean, the closest thing I could say right now, and it's a bit of a stretch, and I'm being unfair. As of right now, Callisto's a little disappointing. I wouldn't call it like a disappointment, but all the other games, I'm like, they're either better than I thought or what I expected.
Yeah.
So, I mean, not really. I'm splitting hairs with Callisto, but
before we do,
it's not like last year, I think, with like Skyward Sword, where I'm like, okay, well, that's the most disappointing, like by far.
Also,
this year,
bad.
I'm like,
it's just bad.
There's no games that I played this year, new games, that sucked.
Yeah.
And I was expecting something good.
Yeah.
So
I have 2 shout outs before we do our honorable mentions. And that would be, I'm not going to count these, but GTA 5 current gen. Just playing that on PS5. We did 1 or 2 streams, whatever we did. And then we played, online besides that. It's just like, you can tell the difference. It's so smooth. I love it. I still haven't played the campaign. That's another one I'd like to play in January. But I got a shout out to that. And obviously, I got to give a shout out to the TMNT Cowabunga collection.
Yeah.
Freaking amazing. I haven't played Atari 50 yet, but before that happens, this is the most comprehensive video game collection I've ever played. I would probably say Street Fighter 30th collection might be better just because of the games. But this as like a total package, I mean, you've got friggin' design documents and you've got screenshots from the original cartoon. And like there's so much stuff in here that it's amazing. I want to give it a shout out before I get to honorable mentions.
So yeah, I had that included within my honorable mentions just because I'm like, I don't feel fair ranking it when it's just a collection of old games. But yeah, it's one of my honorable mentions.
All right, so my honorable mentions. So we both have 4.
Yes.
Right? So if I were to rank them, 14 would be Trek to Yomi. That game I had high hopes for, and I was like, I don't want to play this. I don't care that it's on Game Pass. This game's not good. 13, Switch Sports. Bowling was fun. Yeah, okay. That was about it. $40 down the toilet. This might be controversial, but Game of the Year nominated Stray at 12. It was a good cat game, but I could go back and do the speed run and shit to get the platinum, but I'm like, I don't really want.
I forgot you didn't get the platinum.
Yeah, it was a great game. That's going to be a theme for some of these games. Good game, fine. Never in a million years should this be nominated for Game of the Year. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then 11, if I did have a most disappointing, it would be this. And it's just because I expected it to be like top 2 or 3. Granted, it came out in a really tough year, all things being said. Tunic did not make my top 10. I liked it. I appreciate the whole instruction manual crap, but it's just, it went a little too far that like, yeah, okay, language, whatever. Like, also super difficult and like cheap. And some of the bosses are just ridiculous that I was just like, obviously they love Zelda, but I don't think they did a good job with this game. I thought it was fine. I would probably give it like a 6, maybe a 7 at the tops.
Yeah.
But if I had to give a game my most disappointing, it would be Tunic. And there's some people that say it's their game of the year, so obviously I'm probably in the minority, but that's me. Sean, your honorable mentions.
Yeah, so if I were to rank them, I guess I'll put number 14 as Cowabunga Collection just because I feel weird ranking it. So I'll put it at the bottom. 13, I guess I would put Vampire Survivor.
Oh, yeah, I still... Yeah.
It was fun, but it's another game that I'm like... If this was on PlayStation with a trophy list, I'd probably enjoy it a lot more. This is just like it's a pooping game. Yeah. Like, yeah, I'll pull it out and play for it. And I haven't played it in weeks. It's fun, but it's a mobile game in the end. Next, which I'm shocked you didn't mention, unless it's in your top 10. Super Perils of Baking. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'd put that at 12. It's a fun platformer. We'll probably hear more about it later. And then last, this one hurt, and I wasn't even sure if I should include it because it's not really a game. I mean, it's not a standalone game. I put the Cuphead DLC on there.
Oh, good call. Yeah.
It was more Cuphead, which is good. Not very memorable. Cuphead. It's perfect. 10 out of 10. Top, I don't know, 20 game of all time for me, probably. The DLC was just more of that. But I feel like none of the bosses were I couldn't tell you a single boss from it.
It falls into the whole DLC thing. Like,
yeah.
It's just once a game's done, especially once I played a game 3 or 4 years ago and now you put out No, just put a 2 on it and make more and put that out.
Yeah.
You know? Also, I suck at it now. So
well, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say Cuphead DLC, delicious last course. Number 11.
All right. Top 10. Sean?
All right, I will go first.
So my prediction is that our top 3 are the same.
They may be.
Okay.
All right, so number 10, this will be quick, Callisto. Haven't spent a whole lot of time with it. I've already said my thing about it. 3 months from now, maybe like a month from now, I do agree that Crisis Core is trending up. Even just after talking with you, it's trending up. I feel like I just get it more.
Yeah.
Callisto, I'm not entirely sure. Like, it's nice that I got a gun, but I'm like, who cares? I've also now got, which I forgot about, basically like the
you can
gravity gun thing.
Yeah.
But I don't really understand I don't know. When I picked it up, it's like, push this to grab something, and I see crap all over the floor. Well, I can't pick that up. I can't pick that up. I can't. What can I pick up? Eventually, I picked up what looked like a cooler. I'm like, okay, here comes a zombie. Phew. Thunk. I'm like, okay, well, that was worth it. Like, I don't know. Callisto, it's fine. I don't think it's trending up. Like, the more stuff I'm getting, it's not necessarily getting any better. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's fine. It might maybe move up a spot or two, by the time I've beaten it. But I don't know. It's my number 10.
Yeah. My number 10 is...
Super Perils?
Yes, Super Perils of Baking. This is a game that I will say, obviously, we love Colin and all that. His games Lily Mo's games that they've made so far, like Habraxia was cool. Habraxia 2 was awesome, yes.
I'm pretty sure I was the first one to get the PS4 Platinum. Or wait, was I number 1? Or was I just really, really high?
You were 1 on one of them, yeah.
I think it was the PS4 4.
Because Colin and Barry played it on Vita, I think.
Let's see if I'm still...
But when I saw that they were, like, I knew they had made Perils of Baking, but I didn't really know what it was. When I saw they were remaking it and I saw the first trailer, I was like, oh my God, this is made for us. It's a 16-bit platformer. And I liked it. I think we gave it an 8, which I will say is probably a little high. I would probably bump that down to a 7. But it's a good game. It's just there were certain things that annoyed me about it. Like, the core gameplay is great. The power-ups are great. You can get the hat that revives you if you fall off, whatever. You can come back, whatever. You get 3 hits before you die, but if you die, you only get 1 hit. Like, I like that kind of stuff. But there were certain levels and stuff that were like... There were some jumps that seemed impossible. And it's like you had to do a crouch jump. I remember this... In level 46 or whatever, like there's a crouch jump you have to make in an auto-scrolling level. There's a crouch jump over a spike where you have to land, but where you land, a spike falls from above you, and you have to jump onto like a moving platform. And I'm like, this is stupid.
Still number 1. I'm not at this point. I'm not losing it.
No, but well, obviously. So it was a good game. I'm thankful that we got review codes early. We got to do a full review, which I hope to do more of, obviously. I loved it. I still, that's something we should do, is we should do those kind of reviews for just old games. I think that would be so much fun. I have no problem editing them. We just write the scripts and do it. That might be more fun to do for Patreon bonuses than versus, but we'll see. But it was a good platformer that I was high on at the beginning. The more I played it, even after our review went live, I was like, ugh, this is frustrating. So yeah, still a good platformer. Not great. Not as good as Abraxia 2. Not even close, I would say. That is easily their best game they've done. It's not even close.
Yeah.
But Super Perils of Baking was fine. It's my number 10. Sean, your number 9.
All right. Again, we'll go quick. Number 9, as of right now,
Ooh.
Crisis Core.
Ooh, okay.
I do think that will probably move up when all is said and done, a spot or 2, maybe as much as 3. I don't know. I've already said my thing about it. And like I said, I feel like I already just get it more now after talking to you. And that being said, Curb, I feel like...
Watch the show!
That is a knock against the game. Like, I feel better now, but it's like the game probably could have explained that. I hate the slots, but it's good to know that you can just ignore it.
I feel like they did explain the whole mission thing. Because I knew
probably
to go
did.
over there and hit triangle.
They probably did, and I just missed it. But like,
okay,
I didn't realize that all those were optional. I figured it was just I don't know. It's fine. I like it. I think the story is going to be awesome, but I'm not there yet. I think the gameplay is good. I think that will definitely move up, but as of right now, it's my number 9.
My number 9, talked about it already, but I will give it to Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Like I said, it started out as more Call of Duty, which was fine. It's a blockbuster. It's whatever. But then you get into a kind of a remake of the All Gillied Up mission. That's cool. You're sniping people. You got like an infrared sensor and you're taking them out, but you got to take guys out when people aren't looking at them, or you got to have Soap also hit somebody while Price is hitting somebody, or Gaz, or whoever the hell I was, or he was, whatever. And then you get to the end with these vehicles and you're jumping and like shit gets crazy. And it was fun, and the multiplayer is fun. I've heard some people complain that are like really into Call of Duty, and they're like, oh, there's bugs, and when I reload with this, the animation frames, but I'm like, shut up. We're not all MLG. It's fun. The fact that I can have fun playing online should tell you that it's fun. I've already talked about it a lot, this podcast and the last one. It's more Call of Duty, but it's fun. It's my, like I said, probably 3rd favorite Call of Duty that I played. Behind Black Ops and Modern Warfare 2, and then I would put Modern Warfare 2 after that. So that's it. Nothing more to say. Number 8. This is where we get interesting.
All right, number 8 for me, the sole Switch title on here for me.
Same.
Blossom Tales 2.
Same.
This is a 8-bit Zelda homage sequel to Blossom Tales, which was what, 3 years ago?
It was 17.
Holy crap. Okay. Yeah. It was fine. It was not really at all different from the first. Probably new weapons and stuff, new, items, I guess. But they didn't really change a whole lot. It was more of the same. And I like the original, but like at some point you're like, I want a little more. I don't want just more, I want more. I came around on this game at the end. There were parts of this game where I'm just like, this is just not fun anymore. Like, I just feel like this is a slog trying to get through. I'm just like, ugh. And some of the puzzles were whatever. And I don't really remember what happened, but by the end of the game,
I do.
I was like, okay, that was pretty good.
When I had enough whatever to go up there to the top of the map in the middle of that pond, pull out the Master Sword or whatever they friggin' called it. When I got that, I was like, it was like reinvigorating because I was kind of like that too. I was like, and I will say this game is really Blossom Tales 1 Plus or 1.5. It's like DLC. It's like a big DLC.
It's DLC that's the size of the original game.
Yeah, It really is, and I think this is made by like one dude or two dudes.
Yeah.
Two dudettes, whatever. Like it's a lot of work to do for anybody to try to cram A Link to the Past into a game that you make yourself twice. And I remember that, like, I think there was only 4 main dungeons. There was 4 dungeons, and then the final. I think there was 5. But I knew as soon as the story. Who cares about the story in a Zelda game? I know, whatever. But once the beginning of the game happened, which for some reason I don't want to spoil, once the beginning of that happened, I was like, well, I know how this is going to turn out with the Minotaur and the Minotaur Prince and all this crap. And like, I get it. Like, I know what's going to happen. But I love, one of the things I do love about the first game and this game is how they tell the story of how it's a grandpa.
Telling
there,
a story.
Yes. And like you are acting out the story that he's telling and you have choices. And it's like you go into a room and it's like the grandpa says, oh, and then they fought a bunch of penguins. And then the son's like, Grandpa, I think it was a bunch of squirrels. And then the daughter's like, no, I think it was a bunch of witches. It's like, oh, what do you think, player? And I'm like, I want to fight some witches. Oh, actually, it was witches. And then it's like goes back to the game. It's bing. It's a bunch of whiz robes and it was I love the items. I love the exploration. It did feel like sometimes, like I compare it to Trigger Witch. Trigger Witch going around that world. It seems like there were more fast travel spots than there were in this. It seemed like if I wanted to go from one place to another, again, speaking of maps,
the map was not great.
Not always great.
It's like, I want to go here. Oh, there's a fast travel here. I'll go there. Okay. But now I can't get from here to there.
Exactly.
I have to go boom to get there. And I'm like, it's just, the map, the fast travel wouldn't be so bad if the map made it a little more clear on where you could and couldn't go. That's my recollection of it. Or just more fast travel points would also get around that.
But I mean, overall, I definitely liked it. It was a fun game. I was glad it came out. When I heard about it at the very beginning of 22 or the end of 21, I can't remember. But I remember tweeting, it was like, oh my God, we're getting a sequel. This is awesome. Then it came out in August or whatever. And I was like, that was fun. It was more Blossom Tales, cool.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that was both
the other
of our
thing.
number 8s.
Well, the other thing it had working against it is being on the Switch and having to either play on the crappy
or the
Joy-Cons or the crappy Pro controller.
I get it. Like it's a Zelda game, Nintendo.
It belongs on the Switch. Yes.
But like, my God, can we just get a better controller than the Pro? Like, I am so worried. Like, obviously, I'm gonna play Tears of the Kingdom day one. I don't care if the weapons break, 2 dungeons, 12, whatever.
Well, the thing is, like, I don't like playing
Switch Pro controller.
So the Joy-Cons, I don't like the D-pad is like
the
4
separate
individual
buttons.
and they just click, 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 click. Like, it drives me nuts.
Try playing Street Fighter. Yeah.
The D-pad on the Pro controller, it's not terrible, but it's not very precise.
It's not accurate at all.
And when I was trying to play
Celeste,
and I want to do like a up dash,
good luck.
And she does like an up and right dash, and I die, drove me nuts. Yeah. Now, any games that you can just play with the stick, and you don't need to worry about the pad, okay, that's fine. This is not a game that feels right playing with the stick. I want to play 2D games.
I played with the
pad,
stick
not with the stick.
D-pad is so bad.
Yeah.
Bad
no, I think I did too, actually. But
it's a bad D-pad. And also, Nintendo invented the freaking D-pad. How is the Switch Pro D-pad so bad? How?
Yeah.
Just put the freaking Nintendo D-pad. No, put the Super Nintendo D-pad in the Switch Pro controller. This thing costs like freaking $80. I sound like Angry Joe. Number 8, Blossom Tales.
All right. Number 7 for me, Stray.
Okay.
I like this game. It is not a Game of the Year contender. I'm sure some people will say it's Game of the Year because yay, indies and cats.
Well,
it's a fine game.
Yeah.
I like the world. It was cool. They did a very good job of making it feel like you are a cat.
You are 100% a cat in this game, yes.
I like the characters, the robots, whatever. I thought it was a very cool world. I enjoyed it. I didn't really know what to expect. My biggest issue with the game, again, my fault, was getting some of the trophies. The things where you had to run away from the little things.
I did it for a friggin' hour.
Yeah.
And I'm never going to get the platinum.
Some of those
were trophy.
Some of those were brutal.
Yeah.
But again, if you don't care about the platinum, you can easily get through. It's not like it's hard to not die.
No, it's
just hard to do it without getting hit and whatever. It was fun. I thought it was a cute game. I definitely like the spoiler alert. In the beginning, there's a part where like the cat falls.
It's horrible.
And he's fine. But he's like limping for a little bit, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to play this game. So you definitely get attached to the cat. The whole cast of characters basically are just a bunch of robots, but you connect with them too. And I don't know. I had fun playing it. It had no business other than just being the token
cat game,
indie game that gets nominated for Game of the Year. It should not be Game of the Year. It shouldn't even be in the conversation for it.
Correct.
But it was good. I liked it. Stray, number 7.
My number 7, which I feel like you might have this very soon, or maybe not. My number 7 was Infernax. Infernax was a game that I think the first time I saw it was a Push Square tweet, and I was like, oh, Castlevania, whatever. I've heard that so many times. I didn't pay attention, but I was like, okay, I'll watch the trailer. And I saw it, and I was like, what the hell? And I sent it to you, and we were both like, oh my God, what the hell? And then I was like, oh my God, it's on Game Pass, and I have an Xbox. Kind of. It's up here now. But I played it, and it was just like, in a way, it kind of reminds me of Curse of the Moon, whatever, like the Bloodstained 8-bit games. Like, it's wearing its inspiration not on its sleeve, over its whole body. Like, this is Castlevania 2, but it's the way it should be done.
Yeah.
Like, the pixel art is 8-bit perfection. It's like, the music is awesome. The Metroidvania aspects are awesome. You go to a town, and then it's like there's nothing here, and then you walk over here, and then there's like a dam or something. You're like, whatever. But then somebody tells you that like you got to release the water to get rid of the ghouls or whatever. I can't remember all that, but it was so much fun. Ooh, sorry. The bosses were great. It was a difficult game from what I remember. Again, I played this in like February, but I think it was difficult. It was you level up accordingly. You get good weapons and stuff like that. Like I really liked Infernax. And I feel like I say this almost every year. It's not like, let's see here. If I look at my top 10, triple, indie, triple, indie. So like 40% of my top 10 games, I think, are indies. And it feels like every year I say like, this was the year of the indies. Every year is the year of the indies. Like we need more games like this that like, and I really, honestly, going into this year, I thought I would have one more indie game in here, and that was Salt and Sanctuary, which I never ended up even playing because the reviews were bad. Which is the, Salt and Sacrifice, and that it's like a 2D, Bloodborne-ish, Souls-ish kind of game. But like this game was so great, and the fact that you got the platinum almost makes me want to be like, you know what the hell? When it's on sale, I'm just going to buy it, play through it again on PS5, get the platinum, beat it twice or 3 times, I can't remember, whatever you had to beat it, to get all the trophies and stuff. But it was a great game, and I never would have thought that a game emulating Castlevania 2 could be this good, because I hate Castlevania 2.
I mean, I don't think anybody likes it.
No, people do. People like Zelda 2, right, James? People like Zelda 2. People like Castlevania
I like Zelda 2. I don't like Castlevania 2.
It's just so, a terrible night for a curse. What the frick are you talking about? And you're like,
well, we tried doing that Let's Play of Castlevania 2. We couldn't get anywhere. No. We couldn't even figure out like how to start. Like that is a game that you need to play with a guide. It is so obtuse, and I know people say that about Zelda 1, but like they just don't. I don't know.
But Zelda 1, like it starts you off. You're looking at a cave. You sit there. You have nothing, and you're like, I can go up, left, or right, or I can go in this cave. You go in that cave, here you get a sword. Okay, so I should explore. If I see stuff, I should try it out. Maybe there's other caves. Maybe I should bomb walls and shit. It's not like Castlevania 2 where it's like, what a terrible night to have a curse and error. I know that was Zelda 2. Whatever. Like, it's just... Infernax is great, though. That's my number 7. Number 6, Sean.
Number 6... Lower or higher, I don't know. Worse than I originally would have thought it would be. Number 6, Elden Ring. I'm just kidding. Forbidden West. Ow.
Wow. That's my number 6 also. I was making this list. When I get to number 5, you're going to be like, huh, okay. And hopefully that gives you hope. You can probably tell what it is. But like... Just go.
Yeah. Sorry. This is not a bad game.
No.
I got the platinum. We don't need to delve into that. I never got the platinum on the first one. How many? 2.
Yeah.
I never got the platinum in the first one. The first one never really clicked with me the way I think it did with a lot of people, but I definitely enjoyed the story. I don't think I ever
Zelda
really...
2 is tough. You're right, James.
I don't think I ever really got...
The first game never clicked with him, nor did the second. So
yeah. I never really got the hang of the combat. Like, I know all the stuff you can do with the trap. Like, I played this game mostly doing melee.
Me too.
Like, when I see a big robot, I'm not like, ooh, I can shoot this plate off of his back, and then I can shoot him in the chest, and then that'll make him weak so that I can go... Like... I just never really did that. I tried to stealth things as much as I could, and then I basically did a lot of melee other than that. It's definitely more of the same from a gameplay perspective. I don't think the story was as good. It looks better. The facial animations and stuff are definitely better.
Much better.
The casting, all the voice acting and stuff is spot on. It's perfect. It's just one of those games that I was done with it and I was like, wow. And then by like the next day, I feel like I just never thought about it again. To this day, I still don't really remember. I know what the story was for the most part, and I kind of remember how it ends, but I don't really remember how we got there. I'm looking forward to Call of the Mountain. probably more so than I'm looking forward to Horizon 3 at this point. It was fine. I don't really know what else to say about it.
It's tough because I really, really loved Aloy as a character in the first game. Now, some people don't like her, and I like her in the
I
the
like
second
her as a
game
character.
too.
Yeah,
And obviously, like the facial animations and all that, it's so much better. But like, there was a point in this game where I was like, I just don't I can tell where this is going. There are certain characters that you meet that are like, oh, and I'm like, okay, I know what's going to happen here, and it turns out I was right. And then it's like at the end, it's like the Lord of the Rings, the Two Towers with all these just CGI shit, or it's Avengers Endgame with all this CGI shit just running at each other.
Now I did like that. I thought that was cool.
I liked it, but I'm like this, but like this is not. Then you get to the final fight, which goes on forever.
Yeah.
The final boss fight, I was like, am I even doing any damage? Okay, this armor, whatever, this. Also, I just don't think, like you said, I want to play this game. One of my big hopes for this game was that they were going to expand the melee stuff. They did not. I think they said they were going to. I can't tell you anything that was different in this and the first one.
Yeah.
I don't like bows and arrows, boats and whatever's. It's not that I don't like ranged attacks. Like when I think of God of War.
I don't think it should be the primary. Like
yes.
Zelda, yeah, you need to have a bow and arrow. But when you try to make it like the main combat feature, it's like, nah, I don't know.
But also, like, so God of War, you got an axe, you got blades. Axe, you get in there, bop, 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 bop. But if you got somebody over there, you got a little nightmare thing comes up, you're like, oh, bitch. Wham, bam, give me that back. Got it. Okay, and then you can, but when you grab it back, you go, bam. Like,
yeah, everything just flows.
Horizon's like, okay, let me switch between my 18 different arrows, and I don't know what it's just like, and the fact that people like Colin say that, like, this is head and shoulders above God of War, I'm like, we didn't play the same game.
Yeah,
like,
I don't
know how, this is not a bad game. It's a solid, like, 8 to an 8.5, but my hopes for it were so high. And it's probably that God of War, my hopes were a little bit lower because of how great 2018 was. I was like, there's no way they're going to do it again, right? Spoiler alert, they did. This game, it's like, the story was obvious where it was going to go. I didn't know what was going to happen at the end. That whole, like, I'm like, okay, that's 3. I think one of the reasons I'm excited for Call of the Mountain, other than it being just a PSVR 2 first-party game, is it's not Aloy. It's going to be separate. It's that world, which I love that world. And I love Aloy, but, like, I want something different. And again, as I said, like, we're about to, there's rumors going around that the remake is real. Guerrilla's not doing it. It's a different studio, but it's real. A freaking 5-year-old game. Why do we need that to be remade? I don't know. We're getting a freaking Amazon show or Netflix show, whatever. We're getting Call of the Mountain. We're getting a co-op multiplayer, whatever game. Obviously, you know Horizon 3 is coming. Like, it's too much. This is not. God of War is infinitely better as a series and a game this year than Horizon. God of War, they're like, we made 2 games. That's it for this. We're going to make a TV show. That's it. They're not doing multiplayer God of War. They're not doing, like...
Yeah.
I don't know what Sony is thinking that, like... I don't know... I feel like I'm being overly negative on this game, but, like, I don't know why this is the IP that they're hitching so much of their wagon to. I don't get it. It was a fine game, good, not great. And I think the first one was better, even though the gameplay probably wasn't as good in the first one. I don't know. It's actually, this is probably my biggest disappointment of the year, more than Tunic, was that this comes in at number 6.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I tweeted when I beat it, I'm like, definitely game of the year contender. Now, a lot more came out after that, but at the time, I loved it. And I don't really have much bad to say about it other than it's just not very memorable. Like every other game I have on this list, I will probably maybe not play through again, but play again.
Also,
I don't think I'll ever play Forbidden West again. No matter how good Call of the Mountain is, I can't imagine I'll be like, oh man, now I'm getting the itch to go back and play Forbidden West. Like, no, I'm good. I guess we're getting, what is it? The Burning Coast or whatever?
Shores.
Burning Shores. I'm not going to play that.
So,
I never
no.
played Frozen Wilds. Like,
dude, I'm looking through some of my notes here from when I played the game. One of my notes, overriding tall necks is still crazy. Well, okay, it's the exact same as the first game. You go up there, you go, and then you rappel down, whatever. Combat still isn't great with the lance.
yeah.
I miss the whistle in the old robots. The fact that I can't stealth around and go, wee, wee, like I'm like I gotta like throw a friggin' rock or some bullshit. Like you took away, you could say it was OP, whatever, but you can dumb down the range of the whistle. Like, and the whistle is not something you had from the beginning in the first game. You had to learn how to whistle. I guess that makes sense. Whatever. But like, you had to learn it. But once you had it, you had to be strategic with it, because it's not like you could just whistle and you kill everybody. You whistle, if two of these freaking robot dinosaurs come over to you, you're like, well, I can kill one, but then this other one's going to get pissed, and then he's going to tell all his buddies, and they're going to come kick my ass. So you had to be strategic with it. I don't think it was so OP as the developers clearly did to not even include it in this.
Yeah.
Pissed me off. But like Pharaoh, oh my God, Pharaoh, that whole thing, when you're going into the realization of Pharaoh and what he is or was and all that, I'm like, well, this is that was the point where I was like, this is freaking stupid. Las Vegas was awesome.
That was cool. Yeah.
That was amazing. Once you got to the realization about Ted Pharaoh and all that, I was like, I think we've jumped the shark.
I was going to say, it kind of jumped the shark there.
All right. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Number 6 for both of us. Horizon Forbidden West. Number 5, Sean.
Number 5 for me, pleasantly surprised.
Yep.
Shredder's Revenge.
Not mine.
I have said, and I stand by, the beat 'em up genre has seen, it's well past its glory days. That being said, I was pleasantly surprised with Streets of Rage 4, and even more so with this. I think to 90% of the population, TMNT beat 'em ups have a much more special place to them than Streets of Rage does. So the fact that we got this game is unreal. They did enough to make it feel, I would say they did more than just put a fresh coat of paint on the beat 'em up genre. They, when they added the overworld map, it's not much, but it's something. 6-player co-op, like it felt nostalgic enough to make you feel like you're at the arcade or having a sleepover with your friends and playing, on the NES or SNES or whatever. Like, but doing enough to also make it be a fresh, standalone title that kind of it does its own thing, I guess. I was very excited when I heard this game was coming, as I'm sure everybody was, and I felt it had every possible. This is the one game that I'm like, my hopes are too high. Yeah. It's not like, new Ninja Turtles game, that sounds awesome. But again, beat 'em ups don't really have a lot of longevity. They're all more or less the same. Gameplay gets old quick, yada, yada, yada. It didn't disappoint. It exceeded my expectations. Oh, the other big thing, just like adding in, as simple as it was so effective, adding in like the leveling up stuff. Mm-hmm. Like, to me, that was a game changer. That's something that should be so easy to incorporate. Like, you do that in any beat 'em up that comes out from here on out, that should be a part of it. Just you should get experience. Stuff, yep. Yes, you should be able to level up and stuff. I think that's,
kill dudes, points, whatever. Yeah,
I think that's such a smart move. Yeah, that was my number 5 game.
Give me a minute. Number 5 for me is Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion. The fact that like I was going back and forth as I'm nearing the end of the game, which I really don't want to. I want to go do all the missions, but I also just want to see the story through because I'm now obsessed with Final Fantasy VII and what they're doing with Rebirth. And then I went back and watched the trailer for Rebirth, and I was like, oh, that part I don't think is actually in Rebirth. I think that's a flashback or something from this game. But then I remember the ending to 7 Remake was weird when people are walking by people, and I'm like, what the frick? I know who that guy is, but why is he here? And nothing that's supposed to happen.
I do want to go back and just listen to you, me, and Jason doing our spoiler.
Because y'all know, I have no idea what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've said it enough. This game is probably the highlight of the year to me, honestly. Like, I assumed God of War would be good. I assumed Elden Ring would be good. This, I was like, it's a PSP game. It's a 75, whatever, on Metacritic. Who knows, whatever. And then, like I said earlier, like, the more I play it, the better it gets. I like that it's action-focused. At first, I was like, all I'm doing is hitting square. But then, like, as you get into it, it's not just hitting square. You're dodging. You got to know when to guard at the right time, depending on what you do in the fights. You get different bonuses where you get some of your HP, MP, or AP back.
I don't think I knew that either.
Yeah. So like if you take no damage, or if you guard every attack, or if you finish somebody with a special move or a limit break, whatever, you get different things. You get ranked. You might not be at that. You have to get a certain point before they start ranking you. But once you do, like after a fight, you get certain percentages of your bars back. It's just, it's like I said, it's my surprise of the year. I'm so fascinated by the story. All the stuff with Sephiroth, I was like, I don't understand what is happening. I don't know who Zack is. Some of these, it's just, man, it's so good, and I cannot wait to beat it. Like, I want to beat it, but I want to before I get, like, when I start chapter 10, I think I'm going to make a separate save so I can go back. Like, I want to beat it, but then I want to go back and just be like, okay, I'm going to do every mission because this is so much fun, and I want to level up as much as I can and then beat it again. But yeah, my number 5, Crisis Core, my surprise of the year. I'm so happy it's this good. Number 4, Sean.
Number 4.
You had it this high. I agree. I probably had it too low.
Infernax. This is a game that I didn't know how badly I needed it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is a Metroidvania that is obviously based off of one of the earliest and maybe worst Metroidvanias ever, and it's
basically
nails
the progenitor. Is that the word? Progenitor?
Maybe.
I think so.
Yeah, and like you said, like, I feel like so many Metroidvanias, with the exception of Metroid and Bloodstained and things like that, I usually play, like, Dead Cells. I'm way late to the party. Blasphemous, I was late to the party. Hollow Knight, I was late to the party. Ender Lillies. Like, so it felt good to actually play a Metroidvania that I can rank on my Game of the Year list because it was actually out that year. Yeah. I loved how the different you're given choices to make.
Yep.
And I will say your decisions in those choices make much more of a difference in this game than anything from, like, well, the only ones I played was the Batman Telltale. Like, those, it's like, oh, I chose that. Okay, well, now this person has a different fate. Yeah. Like, but, like, everything plays out the same way regardless of what you choose. I feel like this game does that kind of mechanic way better. It actually changes, not everything, but, like, you'll get to a point in the game and it's like, Oh my God. This
was
is
that
because
dude that
I
I
did
did the
that.
thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
I loved it. Like, I don't know what the general consensus on the game was. I don't know that we'll ever get an Infernax 2, but like whoever made this, if they come out with another game at some point, like I will be watching it very closely. I absolutely love this game. Yeah, I mean, other than the 3 heavy hitters, this is my game of the year.
84%.
That's pretty good.
Berserk Studio. So I don't know what else they've made. Let's see. Just Shapes and Beat. Okay, so nothing in a bunch of iOS games. All right. But yeah, the game was so good. You were just better at it than I was. I will say, I didn't say this when I was talking about it. When I got to the final boss, I was like, I'm not good at this. I'm going to turn on all the cheats.
I don't really remember much of the bosses. I remember the different areas. Okay. I remember the different areas. I remember a lot of the overworld. I remember a lot of the actual like dungeons. But I'm struggling to remember many of the actual bosses. But yeah.
Me too. I remember more the moments where you choose, like, this guy's in a cage. Do you, like, set him on fire or let him free? And if you let him free, then he's like, man, and he kills everybody. I'm like, well, I screwed that one up. My bad. I'm alive. Y'all suck. All right. My number 4, and I'm going to put this on the record. This is the best beat 'em up ever made. Shredder's Revenge. It is. I'm not blinded by nostalgia of Turtles in Time or Hyperstone Heist or either of the arcade games like this. It's almost not fair to compare it to those games, but it's a Ninja Turtles beat 'em up. You have to. Like, everything they did with this, like, you can tell that the guys that made this at Lizard Cube, I think it was, and Dotemu or Dotemu, whatever, published it. They grew up on this shit. Like, they grew up on the Ninja Turtles. They love those old games, but they see what you can do to make a beat 'em up make sense in the year 2022. Like,
yeah, it did not feel like a cash grab or anything like that. It felt like a true like passion project.
And like, as much as I love Streets of Rage 4, the art style was good, but it was basically like super easy to do flash animation style characters. It looked great. I still don't know why Axel looks like he weighs 300 pounds of muscle now, but whatever. But then you look at this pixel art in this game and how every character is unique. Every, like, their super moves, their taunts, like, everything is different. And then you've got characters you can unlock. We've never had unlockable characters in any TMNT game before. You get Splinter, and you get April, and then you get the OG Casey, who is just like, and then you get, like, sure, I'm saying, 6 players online. I will never forget going for the Platinum and playing this game online with 6 other people, or 5 other people, and, like, everybody's just doing taunts, or like, and everybody, it's like the screen can't even move because it's like, and then everybody's doing their special at the same time. Then it's like, okay, everybody's dead. And then everybody's going, and then, like, not to mention, we're going to talk about it here in the wrap up, but they just put a huge update for this game too. And, like, I cannot believe that this game's real. Like, I cannot believe that they continued the lineage of 2 of our favorite games from our childhood and brought it into the year 2022 and did such a great job with it. Like, I never felt like I was just like, oh, I got to get this platinum. It was fun to go through this and get everybody to level 10. I had so many good memories of playing this game with my kids, especially my 8-year-old Casey was just like, random days he'd be like, Dad, you want to play Ninja Turtles? I'm like, yeah, but you got to do one of the guys who's not at level 10 yet, so I can level that up. And, you know, and he's like, yeah, let's do it. And, like, doing the overworld map and everything, the character, like Bebop and Rocksteady, and then you get the freaking...
I mean, it had basically every character you could possibly want. Like, the
Bebop's...
entire Rogues Gallery from Ninja Turtles, unless you're, like, a just crazy super fan. I'm sure there's some obscure people, but, like... pretty much everybody that you would want to see in this game is in this game.
Usagi shows up.
Mm-hmm.
The fake frog turtle guys, I can't remember their names right now. They're in this. You got Vern Fenwick. You've got the friggin' the guy who runs Channel 6 News, whatever his name is, he's in this. You've got Irma. You've got all this shit. You've got friggin', oh my God, I'm gonna have a heart attack. Or an aneurysm or something. They're like, you've got like, I cannot believe this game's real. Dirtbag and Wart Dog, Charging Chuck, whatever his name is.
Wart Dog.
Then you've got freaking Bebop is driving around in his freaking truck thing from TMNT3, the Manhattan Project. You beat Shred. April O'Neil is playable for the first time, and she's like, "Come on, baby." She doesn't say that. I wish she would have said that, but like, and then you beat Shredder, and then you get to freaking Super Shredder, and he's just zipping and bopping around, and then you got
zinging and zanging.
Crane takes over the friggin', spoiler alert, Statue of Liberty. Are you kidding me? Like, oh my God, this game was a dream come true. I still cannot believe it's real. I'm kind of tempted at this point to just be like, I'm going to buy the PS5 version and get that Platinum too. Like, it should be a free upgrade, but I don't even care. You guys deserve all my money. I just can't believe this game's real. Like, it's better than Streets of Rage 4. It's better than Turtles in Time. It's better than Streets of Rage 2. It's better than Hyperstone Heist.
It's the best beat 'em up game.
It's the best. Like, you can be clouded by nostalgia, but if you put them side by side, again, it's not fair, whatever. But to me, it's the best beat 'em up ever, and I don't know how it ever gets topped. Honestly.
And as much as I enjoyed Cowabunga Collection, going back and playing some of those games, like, yeah, this was a lot of just nostalgia and not much more.
Yeah. Number 4 for me. All right, Sean. 3, 2, 1.
Blast off.
What?
Blast off.
The?
What?
Does it start with the?
It does not.
You put it above?
Yeah. Number 3, God of War. And I went back and forth on that a lot.
Why do you hate Kratos?
I don't. I mean,
you put Spider-Man above God of War.
Yeah. It's my number 3 game behind 2 of the all-time
behind a game
best.
that it didn't even.
We shouldn't have
You have it number 3. It's not like you have it number 10.
All right.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Number 3, God of War.
I'm just messing around.
This is, I mean, it just about swept the Game Awards, and
Except for the 2 big ones. Yeah.
and I don't really disagree with any of it. Like, I think we talked about in a previous podcast, like, best actor deserved it. Best, I don't know, art direction, whatever. Best music, best, like, it does everything right, and it deserved all of those wins. But in the end, number 1, I think, was still just the overall better game. I like this game better than the first one.
Wait, number 1? What about number 2?
Well, we'll get to that.
Okay, I was like, wait, jump ahead.
I don't think the story was as good. It didn't have like the quite the same. Yeah, like, I think overall it was more emotional, but it didn't have like that part that the first one did. But I think it played better. It was so much easier to get around. The map is still more or less worthless.
Yep.
Still a great story. Looks beautiful. Very deserving of every award that it did win. But I'll justify my number 2 when I get to number 2. But yeah, for me, God of War is number 3.
All right, so my number 3, and again, this is our list. A lot of people don't include this. Obviously, we have, and I think we're justified because
So yeah, we can both. Your 3 is my 2. So
this game coming out this year, just, it's almost like I had forgotten how special this game was, and not to be stupid or anything like that, but I feel like my hate for the second game and the story and the, in my mind, shitting all over certain characters that we love made me forget how just special the first game is. And obviously I'm talking about The Last of Us Part 1. Sean's number 2, my number 3.
So one of the things that I was going back and forth with is, should I really put it above it when it's just a remake? And I eventually got to the point where I'm like, I'm not going to fault it for being a remake. I think it's one of the best games in general of all time. And this is the best version of that game. I'm not going to say, yeah, I'm going to put it lower because it's a remake. So I took that out of it.
Also, why is the Metacritic an 88?
Oh, that's stupid. And then I saw, and we've said it on here many times, this is the best.
Oh,
we
God,
may have said
say
this
what
is
I was going to say.
Probably the best.
Oh my
I will say
God.
it is the best story told in a game. And of
Tell
course,
the people why you're bringing it up.
Of course, because
Oh my God.
Twitter is going to Twitter. That was mentioned on Twitter, and Twitter blew up about
By the
it.
director of the show.
Like,
Oh
you
my
just
God.
can't
Bro,
let
have you ever
people
played
enjoy
Mass Effect
things.
2?
Like,
have you ever played Ocarina? Have you ever played Half-Life 2, Episode 2? Do you even know about Paper Mario, the 100-Year Door?
and there
Shut the
may be
frick up.
there may be a portion of me that is doing this just to spite these idiots. I don't know. I'm not saying that came into play, but maybe subconsciously it did. But like, from a semi-realistic, grounded standpoint, it is the best story ever told. I think it's probably the best story from a video game. Now, there's something to be said for, I'll say, Final Fantasy VII. It is up there, but it is a pure fantasy. Like, it's not even in the same realm. Like, I mean, it is apples and oranges. This game, yeah, you can say fungus zombies. Is that real? No, but
Well,
like it's
actually based on
presented.
reality, so,
It's
yeah.
presented in a way that seems real. I think the music is perfect. It is used sparingly, but to amazing effect. Just like a couple like guitar strums, like it's perfect. The voice acting, perfect. It was in God of War 2, also 2, but it is in this as well. I think Joel and Ellie both are some of the best characters that have been put into a game before. And I think what is maybe the best part about it is the fact that there, and you can say the same thing about part 2, it causes it. There's a lot of discussion to be had.
Makes you think.
Yeah. It's not just, hey, here's the good guy and here's the bad guy, and look at that, the good guy wins. It's, well, yeah, he did, but
it's even good.
yeah. And so when it spurns those discussions, and it's like, oh, okay, that's true. And you can say what you want about 2. We're not here to talk about part 2. But like, and I think since I played the first one, which I played on PS4 and on PS3,
Me too.
I've had 2 kids since then. So I mean, I just look, it's like two daughters nonetheless. And it just like, it totally changed everything for me. I cannot wait for this series. Like, I mean, I'm not really prepared for it, but I think it's going to be unbelievable. And I went back and forth. I think before I actually started putting this list together, I'm like, yeah, it's probably going to be 3. But then when I actually started thinking about those 2, I'm like, man, I don't know. But yeah, I ended up putting Last of Us over it.
So this was my thing. I remember, again, I have not been on Twitter a lot the last couple of months. I've had a lot of stuff going on, which got resolved today, and I'm eternally grateful. But I remember one of the times I got on Twitter, I saw IGN or somebody had a tweet that was like, the director of The Last of Us, or the writer, whoever it was like, The Last of Us is the best video game story ever told. And I was like, okay. And then I kept reading the rest of the tweet and the replies and everybody else tweeting. I was like, what world am I living in? Like, it's like I agree with you. It's like, to me, there are 2 video games that I have played. We have not played everything. I haven't played Mass Effect with space boinking and all that crap. There are 2 games that are far and above every other story told. I might feel differently about 7 once the trilogy comes to a close, but it's MGS3 and it's The Last of Us. So never in a million years did I think saying that The Last of Us, the first, is the best story ever told in video games was something to get people that upset. But again, Twitter is going to Twitter. What?
Well, it's the whole thing about, like, I've seen many versions of this tweet, but people are saying Twitter is like, and it's like, I love French toast. Oh, so does that mean you hate pancakes? What about waffles? And it's that kind of thing. It's like, this person said that he thinks this is the best one ever, and then everybody loses their mind. I'm like, you guys are absolutely ridiculous. And I'm sure a lot of it is, you know, it's just stupid console war bullcrap. And, oh, of course you would say a Sony game is the best story ever told. Like, I'm sure that's part of it, but like...
That dude probably didn't even know that it was a video game before he started making the show. Like, I do think, like I said, it's one of the 2 best stories ever told, if not the best, period. Yeah. It's so emotional. It's got one of the craziest endings of all time. Stuff around the ending was retrofitted for 2 and whatever. We're not going to talk about that because I'm just getting mad. But like, I can't follow you. I'm joking about God of War. I still think it's way better than Spider-Man. But it's in playing this. The other thing, like I was saying, like, why is the Metacritic for this an 88 and the first one's a 93, 94?
Well, it's the same thing with
game,
GTA 5.
Right.
And I got screwed.
You got an 81, not a 96.
I'm like, how is this is the same version, but it's better of one of the best games of all time. But I'm only going to give it an 80 because
Joel can't crawl.
It's already been made.
Well, they laid out this entire world based around the fact that Joel is not a 5'2", 16-year-old girl that can go under cars and shit. Like,
but you could say that about any game. Like,
no, but that's what I'm saying.
No, I know. Like, you're walking through, like, I mean, it happens
in God of War all
every
the time.
game, but like,
Kratos is the God of War, and he walks up to like a
like,
bush.
if I was walking through this room,
he walks up to a bush, and he's like, I can't get over
I wouldn't
this
be able
bush.
to go back into that corner because there's a table in the way.
Right.
Climb over it, crawl under it, move it. It's a table. Who cares? Like, you could say that about any game.
I'm Kratos. I'm the God of War.
I'm on my mission.
Oh, there's a wall. I'm the God of War.
Excellent content.
But I mean, come on. It's like, it's video games. Shut the fuck up. Blah. Number 3. All right, number 2. It was your number 2. My number 2, of course, is God of War Ragnarok. And I will say this. I think I already said it. I was pleasantly surprised by how great this game was. I expected it to not be this good. I'm still trying to take everything in. I think this story was way more... This story felt more like the old God of War. This was like...
Yeah.
But in a way, but it's not like the old God of War was Kratos like, I'm going to freaking kill everyone. It's what we thought Ellie was going to be like, I'm going to kill every last one of them. Well, yeah, but not because they killed your girlfriends. But it was like... It was more bombastic, I guess is the word. Like, it was like the story was big. It was
Mr. Bombastic.
Fantastic. God damn it. Why is Shaggy in my head? Like, they improved on the gameplay in every way. It was amazing. Like, I know, like, Colin has said that, like, he thought it was too much. I was like, I didn't think so. Like, I didn't think, like, the upgrades were too much. I like that there were so many upgrades. I like that you can tailor the way you play the game. Like, you get, like, you unlock an upgrade. And then if you really like that, keep doing it and keep killing dudes. And then you can put, like, a buff on that. Or not a buff. A buff.
Yeah.
What's the other one? Nerf.
Debuff.
A debuff. A debug. Like the gameplay was better in every way. it felt so good. I liked how the enemy variety was so much different in this. I like how it's crazy. Like the first game, I never cared about Norse mythology until I played the first game. And then I played this game and I was like, it made me care even more. Like Odin and Thor and Thrud, low key, maybe the best character in the entire game.
Loki?
Sif was her name.
Yeah.
Right? The bar fight, my God.
That was awesome.
That was...
It reminded me of the church scene in Kingsman, which I don't know if you've ever seen it, but that's what it reminded me of.
But it stick with me. This makes no sense, but it's the closest thing to that scene from the first game. Not because it has anything to do with anything that's come before it, but it was just like, I can't believe this is happening. This is freaking awesome. I didn't like the slow parts. Hashtag yak. But I appreciated what they were going for. The boss fights were great. I will say the boss fight with a certain character near the beginning of the game was better than the boss fight at the end of the game. I think we both agreed on that.
I think so, yeah.
Because it was just like it was like fighting the stranger in the first one. You're like, what the hell is happening? And boom, boom, boom. You're going through mountains and throwing trees and shit. And I was like, this is the best thing I've ever seen in my life. I love the more grounded, contemplative Kratos in this. I love the relationship with Atreus. I didn't think I was worried he was just going to be an angsty, annoying, weird, hormonal teenager. He wasn't that. I like the journey that he goes on in this game. Freya, again, I say that like Jeff Keighley should start a supporting actor award. I don't know what he would call it. Instead of best performance, best supporting performance, whatever it should be, because she should have won. She was amazing in this game. She was awesome in the first game. She was even better in this. Daniel Basutti, she was awesome. She retweeted me and said thank you for your support. The game was amazing. I just don't know, like, I would have to pick nits to figure out if I like this or the first one better. I do think the story, the grounded nature of the story, and Kratos, in the first one I'm saying, and Kratos clearly fighting with being the god of war and now being a single dad. Like, to talk about, you were sitting on Olympus and now your wife is gone and you're a single dad. Like, just think of that. Like, you can't even think of that. That's insane. So that, and then the simple nature of just, we have to carry these ashes to the highest point in the realms. And then you get there and you see stuff and we're like, holy shit, what is going to happen in the second game? And it happened. But then you go back and you look at it and you're like, it did happen, and I can tell you what after. But like, it's amazing. It's I'm glad they took their time to get this game out and perfect it. God of War Ragnarok, easily a 10 out of 10. Amazing game. But this game was defined by our number one game of the year. And honestly, as much as I love God of War Ragnarok, to me, obviously to you, there's one game that's head and shoulders above everything else.
Last of Us Part 2.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, that's not how this is going to end. I want to recount. Wait, what is happening here? I want to recount. What do you want to recount of? Get the hell out of here, Chris, with your Last of Us Part 2 crap. Number one is Elden Ring.
Yes.
I sum it up like this.
Did you see...
It broke the record. Thank you. F you, Last of Us Part 2. Is that what you want to recount on? Most Game of the Year awards ever in the history of ever.
Add 2 more right now.
Bam! 234 to 230. Suck it, Abby. Not your cat.
Yeah. So we've talked about this already.
I know.
A lot throughout the year.
Quickest,
We've been saying throughout the year. Spoiler alert: this is probably going to be our game of the year. It was. We talked about it after the Game Awards. I stand by. Like, I'm okay with God of War winning everything it did. I think it should have. But to me, game of the year is still Elden Ring. They said the same thing. not since Breath of the Wild, and I've changed my mind on that quite a bit, but not since Breath of the Wild has a game just hooked me and like consumed my life. And I could not go a day without playing it or even like thinking about it. I'm just like, I just want to keep diving back in and just, and I remember at first, I'm like, I love Bloodborne. I love Demon Souls, which is like the opposite of an open world game. I'm like, I don't know how that really works in an open world environment. And the answer was perfectly. Like, it's perfect. They nailed it. I loved just exploring that whole world. And then you find out there's a lot
There's
more
a whole other world
to it than what you see.
Oh my God.
The boss fights are awesome. Just even like the regular enemies are fun. When you just will randomly come across like a dragon all of a sudden, like it's just
Or you go kill a goat and then a freaking 25-foot tall bear goes, like, what the hell? I was just killing a little goat and then this asshole's here.
Yeah. I mean, it's a perfect game. I don't know where it would be. Off the top of my head, I'm guessing it's top 5 all time for me.
And
it may be top 3. I mean, it is way, way, way up there. I was looking forward to this game. I mean, it's like Bloodborne, Dark Souls, Demon Souls, whatever meets Game of Thrones. That was blown a bit out of proportion. Like the story, it is what it is, and George R.R. Martin naming all the characters either G, R, M. Okay.
Yeah, congrats.
But like, I don't know how much of an impact George R.R. Martin really had in this game, but my hopes were so high for this game, thinking of what it could be, and it blew it out of the water. And again, thinking back to like Breath of the Wild, like when you first step out on the Great Plateau in Breath of the Wild, and that's how I felt in this game when you climb up that ladder and you leave that crypt, whatever, where you basically start the game, and then it's just like, boom, there's the world.
And here's this dude on a horse that's going to murder your ass.
I'm like, oh, there's a pretty big enemy right there. Let's see what this game's all about. And he kills me in like 2 hits. I'm like, okay, well, now I know avoid that guy. But it's like, I don't know where to go, but I loved it. Like, I'm just like, every time I go over there, I get killed. Oh, I can go all the way down to this beach here. All right, let's see what's going on down at the beach. And like,
do I have to kill these birds?
Fast travel everywhere. Yeah. Like, it's perfect. I don't know that we'll ever get an Elden Ring 2. I don't know that Bloodborne 2, should that ever happen. I don't know that any of the other Soulsborne games should go to open world. I think they need to stay in their lane and do what they've already done. But I want more Elden Ring. I want another open world Soulsborne game yesterday.
I hope that they are working on DLC. I hope it's you open up a new area of the map or it comes out of the water or something and you get a new area plus a castle with new enemies and all that. I will pay $100 because $60 for this is a ripoff. Chris says in the chat, on a mass appeal, I understand why Elden Ring clicked for a lot of folks. Souls games give you a sense of accomplishment like no other. Uncover the world piece by piece. It was just chef's kiss. This game, it's... Zelda was not Belder, okay? I said in 2017, and this is why I know Elden Ring is not Breath of the Wild. In 2017, by the time... So, Horizon came out in February. The Switch launched March 3rd. Breath of the Wild launched. Played it. Beat it. Whatever. Kept going. Okay, got done with it. Beat Horizon. Okay. By the time I got to the end of the year, I was already starting to be like, yeah, but... with Breath of the Wild. There was no yeah, but with Elden Ring. For me. I know it's not for everybody, but like, I am not good at video games, and I platinumed this game. I brute forced my way to Melania and all these optional bosses and getting everything in this game. Like, this game, it's kind of like what I said 2 years ago with Final Fantasy VII Remake as my game of the year in 2020. Like, I loved Immortals Phoenix Rising. I love the Demon Souls remake. but Final Fantasy VII Remake was special.
He's Belter.
It was way belter than Belter. This game is special. Like, this is unlike any game I've ever played. And like I was DMing with James. He's trying to get into it and everything. Like, it's making me want to go back and beat it for a third time now. Like, this game, playing it through the first time, my God, you talk about walking out onto the plateau. You go up the ladder and you open the plateau for the first time and all this, blah, blah, blah. You want to know what happened to me the first time? Do you remember this? I went through the dungeon thing and I go there and I kill this guy. I was like, I killed the first boss. This is awesome. And I'm like, okay. Whew, I got a key or some shit. Okay. Let me climb up this ladder. I'm like, okay. I'm still in the cave. I look around. I'm like, I don't know. And I see this dead guy over here. He's like, ooh. And I go over to the dead guy. I'm like, hey, what's up, man? I'm like, I don't know what to do. And then he's like, the questions to the answers are below. And I was like, okay. Step off. Die. I'm like, well, okay. So I just died in the tutorial. Great. And then I finally, you were like, there's like a stairs. And I was like, oh, elevator. Okay, cool. Boom. And then I walked out there and I was like, oh my God. From that moment on, I was hooked. Like, I walk out there and it's like the music in this game, just that boom. I can't say that. But like, you walk out, you see it, and then I'm like, I see this guy in the horse. I'm like, okay. Well, I mean, he's here at the opening.
How bad can
that
it be?
bad, right? And I got like a sword, or no, I was a magician, so I was like,
Pew, 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 pew.
and I was like, Calliope! And I was like, oh, I'm dead in one hit. Okay, let me try it again. I'm behind the bushes. I'm gonna go pew pew pew. Calliope! Boom. And I finally like, okay, let me go around this guy, and then I get to the church, like the broken down church, and there's a site of grace, and I rest. And then I look over, and there's this guy being like, I got some things on sale, stranger. And I was like, what? Do I kill this motherfucker? Like, what the hell is happening? I go up and I talk to him, and he's like, oh, rye is tarnished. And he's like, do you want to buy some stuff? And I'm like, I would like to. Okay. And then I go walk through the woods for the first time, and I'm like, okay, I see guys walking around, and it's almost it's a tutorial without a tutorial. Like, even once you get in the world, like, they're walking through this dark wooded area, and they've got their torches so you can see them easily. But there's all this high grass and stuff. Don't go into the long grass. You go into the long grass, and then you can sneak up on them. And you go bam, and then you go over here and you go like bam, and then you're like, wait a minute. There's a cave, and you go down to the cave, and then there's the beast man or whatever, and he's like, raw. You're like, okay, start over, okay, whatever. Like, it was amazing. And then, like, when I got through that, I figured out how to get through there and stalk everybody and kill them and everything. And then I go down the path, and it's like, okay, there's a big castle over here, but then there's this little encampment over here. Not too bad. I'll go over here. I'm just gonna swing around. I'm just gonna go ping, 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 and then all of a sudden I go ping one time, and it's like, bruh, huh? And they're blowing a horn, and 6 dudes are chasing after me, and I'm running away and everything. And then I'm like, okay, next time I'm going to run by them. I see a site of grace. Boom, save point. Cool. Okay, good. I got my horse now, whatever. Oh, here's this big castle. Let me go in here. And then I'm walking in. And then boom. I'm like, ah! And I run away, and I'm like, I don't know how to play this game.
I remember when I killed that dude. I'm like, yes. And then I died. And then I got back there. I'm like, oh, he's back. Oh, that's not a boss. That's just a dude. It's just a tougher enemy. I'm like, oh, man.
It's one of the most special games I've ever played.
I think if I do play through it again, I don't know that I'm doing new gameplay. Like, I kind of just want to start fresh.
I'm not good enough to start over. I can't do it.
I mean, I wouldn't be trying to get a second platinum, right. But like, I don't know. I would almost start fresh. So I'm not just killing everything in one hit, but just do like a different build or something. I don't know.
Like, I can remember texting you. I assume I was tweeting. I was hitting up the Discord, like, just dying and dying and dying to Margaret. And I was like, I can't beat this jackass. And I would be like, I would summon somebody, and I'm like, oh, nobody's powerful enough, whatever. And then I went over to that, and I kept killing the guys that were easy to kill, that were like dragging the chariot, whatever thing. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, that's some souls. Okay, go save, do it again. Boom, save, level up. And when I finally beat him, I was like, okay, I'm still very bad at video games, but I want to, now that I beat this jackass, I want to see this through. Like, this. And
well, I mean, that's how Bloodborne was with Cleric Beast. You're just like, you get to him and you get smoked. And then it's like, okay, level up, try again. And then once you finally beat him, which you don't even have to beat, like, it does nothing. Doesn't open up a way
Right.
forward. Like, you don't even have to beat Cleric Beast.
It's just, okay, I'm here and I can
But
do
once you
this.
beat him, yeah, it's like, okay, I get it. I'm in.
Yeah. It's one of the most special games ever. It's easily game of the year. Now I really want to go back and play it again with New Game Plus 2, because I cannot start. I'm not good enough. Especially now. Like, I almost want to play it again just because I assume there's DLC coming. That's not just the PvP stuff that they did as a free
Now, just
thing.
know, if it's anything like Bloodborne,
Am I going to have to do it from one of my saves?
when you do New Game Plus, you're going to wreck everybody till the end. Then it kind of
Yeah.
evens out. From New Game Plus 2 and on, like, you aren't getting that much better because all your levels just kind of plateau and
Yeah.
like the diminishing returns and whatnot. Bloodborne New Game Plus, I just ran through. I was killing everybody. When I got to New Game Plus, it was almost like starting fresh. Like, I wasn't much better than I was at the beginning of New Game Plus, but it's like the enemies got a lot tougher. So, and you're going to be out of practice.
I
So
have
if you
no idea
do
how to
New
play
Game
anymore,
Plus
yeah.
Plus, you might.
I'm just going to be over there with my rivers of blood just going and then run away.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, those are our top 10 games of the year for 2022. But we are not done yet. Sean, let's run through the wrap up, although this first one might take an hour. 2023 will be, quote, a year of many announcements, according to Konami Metal Gear Solid producer Noriaki Okamura, including something that is, quote, long awaited. Sean, they're doing Castlevania DLC. They're doing Silent Hill. There's nothing else they own that is long awaited. Do not say Contra. No one cares.
No, I think it's obviously Metal Gear Survive 2.
Perfect timing. It's my hope, though, for real, it's going to be Metal Gear. Just don't be 6. Do not be 6. Don't do this. Either we assume it's 3 that's getting a remake with Virtuous Studios, which clearly was just established by Konami as a satellite studio to work on the Virtuous mission. Jesus Christ. How long have we been? Damn! 2 hours and 18 minutes.
Oh, wow. There's a lot of wrap up.
It's happening. Like, it has to be Metal Gear. We've got all the Silent Hill crap coming. There's nothing else. Now, I will say this, as a Metal Gear savant, I have never heard this dude's name associated with Metal Gear. So what I really think is happening is stuff's getting twisted, that he's been at Konami for a while, and he kind of dabbled in Metal Gear. But even with that being said, watch Curb, there's nothing else that's long awaited. There's no Monsters in my pocket reboot that's happening. Like, it's Metal
Symphony of the Night 2.
No. Without Iga? No.
Without Hideo?
Remake.
Remake.
Remake. He laid the groundwork. If you want to remake Symphony, no, don't remake Symphony.
Yeah.
It's Metal Gear. God of War Ragnarok is getting New Game Plus in spring 2023. Perfect time to replay it. Depending on when it comes out in the spring, because Tears of the Kingdom is coming out, then Street Fighter 6, and then
I know we talked
Final
about
Fantasy
this
16.
in the Discord, but
Yeah.
like, why does it take 6 months to add New Game
And again,
Plus?
what I say is correct. The only right answer. Focus on getting the game as perfect as you can when it comes out. Don't worry about New Game Plus. No one needs
but
New
like,
Game Plus
the
a week
game is
after it comes out.
perfect. It came out great.
There were stories
All you do
saying-
is add an option to the menu.
It's not that simple.
Add everybody's, scale everybody's health and strength by like 10%.
It ain't that simple.
And go.
And there were devs at Santa Monica that were saying that 3 months ago they thought the game sucked and they didn't know if they were going to hit the finish line. So that's why there's no New Game Plus at launch.
I'm not saying it needed to be there at launch. I just don't know why they're saying, well, 6 months from now, well, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 months from now,
Right.
we'll add New Game Plus. Like, really?
Because I'm sure they have data that says after that many months, the sales finally kind of go like this.
But do you
It's like,
think
we
New
got
Game Plus, that's
No,
not going
I
to
think
make
it's-
more people buy it.
No,
it's just
but
going to
it's
make
just-
more people that already bought it played again.
It's just another marketing cycle where it just gets it back into the consciousness and everything. That's what I think.
The zeitgeist.
Yes. Cowabunga Collection got an update these past 2 weeks. Online play is now available with TMNT 4 on the SNES. TMNT 3 is getting online play in the future. That is amazing.
That's awesome.
I can't even figure out how that would be possible. They also have customizable button mapping. Sean, you can finally do a special button with one move. Special move with one button. On the arcade games. Thank you, God. There's also new Game Boy filters as well as new tips inside of the in-game strategy guides. Chris, by the way, sorry I saw that. I didn't say anything. It's a great idea. Shit. I can't. I just go back and watch our Bloodborne Let's Plays if you've never seen them.
It's embarrassing.
Because we're like, we only have R2 attacks. Shredder's Revenge also got some updates. There's a new arcade mode that allows custom game modes to be made and virtual dip switches like you had your own arcade. There's also new...
What?
Dip switches are you would go into the actual arcade board and you would flip stuff on or off, like God mode, extra specials, stuff like that. There are also new CRT and VHS filters.
Well, that's cool.
Hosts can now set the maximum number of players that are in a lobby. So if you want to go play online, but you don't want 6 people just going, blah, you can set it to like 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, whatever. Why would you play online with 1? There are also lots of tweaks to boss fights and enemy encounters, taunts, and ninja power bar, etc. Thank you, Konami. You're on the right path. Give me Metal Gear. Jedi Survivor, we got some updates on the game. It is set 5 years after Fallen Order. The dark times are in full swing. There are new fighting stances, including the dual blade option. You can use a blaster and a lightsaber at the same time, as well as the cross-guard lightsaber that we saw in the trailer. And they did say that that's like it does a lot of damage, but like you gotta time stuff like well. There's also going to be a grappling hook and the ability to tame and ride different creatures in the world. I shouldn't be excited for this game because I thought the first one was fine.
I thought it was fine.
But I'm really excited.
I don't know if I'd say I'm really excited. I think when it gets closer, I probably will be. I'm excited, but I'm not like counting down the days. But yeah, I'll get it.
RE4 Remake will not remove the island from the end of the game, but it will have, quote, a lot more content than the original release.
I mean, why would they?
I've only played
island?
This one because apparently people hate this. I don't remember what the hell they're talking about. I've
so
only
when you
played
go to
it
the
once.
island, and that's where you start seeing the big, like the guy was like the big chain guns, and like that's where you fight Krauser. It's like an old like military. I don't know if it's like actually, yeah, it's like a military compound.
Okay.
It just seems kind of out of place, but I don't know. No part of me thought that they would remove it. I don't know why.
No, but and if they're adding stuff to it, I think that's a good thing. So. Okay. Square Enix has reiterated that Final Fantasy XVI will release in June, and they've teased that lots of information is coming before the release. Apparently, the marketing for this is going to be through the roof. I cannot freaking wait.
Yeah.
Most anticipated games. Resident Evil 4.
Yep.
I don't think 7 Rebirth is coming out this year. It's going to be early 24. So I'm going to say 16 and then Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh, for me, it's 16.
4.
Oh, yeah. 4. Spidey 2, assuming it's coming.
About that. No, that's number 3, and then Zelda's
16,
below that.
Zelda.
You're more excited
Jedi?
Wow, you're more excited for Spidey than Final Fantasy. That's surprising.
But I know
it's
about
super
Final
different.
Fantasy.
No, I know.
Man, I don't know. I'm
it
worried.
Seems like it's more for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
The support page for Starfield is now live, and it reiterates the game is coming out in the first half of 2023. Do you believe it?
I will guarantee you.
I would bet
this does not come out
any
before
amount
July.
of money, it ain't coming out this.
I think it'll be out
year.
this year.
Yes.
But it's not coming out.
You know when it's coming out? November.
Yeah.
It ain't coming. I know they said all the games we're showing at our showcase will be out in the next 12 months. Also, when we get to the Game Awards, it's the biggest show of the year. We're not going to show anything. And I'm going to sit there like, the FTC sued me because I'm a snake oil salesman. Go to hell.
Ash, you know what to do.
Yes, please. Go to hell. Redfall also is rumored to come out in May. Yeah, okay, sure.
That
nobody
maybe,
cares.
but yeah.
Nobody cares. Armored Core 6 will act as a soft reboot of Armored Core. There will be no campaign co-op.
I still don't know what to think of this.
It's like the island. The DualSense Edge reportedly has, quote, moderately shorter battery life than the standard DualSense. If I'm paying $200 for a stupid controller, I better have more battery life. What the hell?
Yeah, I don't get that.
Sea of Stars, Sean, is getting a summer 2023 release window.
I saw a game on Twitter recently.
Okay.
That looked...
Street Fighter 6, Final Fantasy 16, Dead Space, Zelda, Spider-Man, Jedi Survivor.
Jeez.
Man, we eating good this year.
There's a game, and I just randomly see it tweeted every so often. I probably liked something. That to me just kind of came out of nowhere, but I'm like, oh my God, this game is for me. And it reminds me of Sea of Stars. I must have liked something about it at some point. Chained Echoes. Is that it? Chained. That sounds like Kingdom Hearts.
Chain of Memories? Did I get that right?
Maybe. I think it's called
Symphony of Memories? Symphony of Chains?
Let me see. But it looked like Chained Echoes, yeah. It looks very much like Sea of Stars, which looks very much like Chrono Trigger. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I mean, this game is awesome. So I think I'm going to look into it. I think it's out already. It's like $20, $25. I'm like, hello, like, this is perfect. This is what I want.
Kind of looks like a nice looking Phantasy Star, too.
Yeah. So I don't know.
But then I see those menus and I'm like,
well, yeah, it's not for you, no. But.
Sifu is coming to Xbox and Steam in March. Silent Hill, the sort message, apparently, has been rated for release on PS5, which means it's coming out soon. Cool. Just give us Metal Gear. The System Shock remake is finally coming out this year. It appears it's targeting a March release date. System Shock is the progenitor, new favorite word, of BioShock.
Okay. This is a game that I feel like I've always heard of, but never really knew what it was.
It walked so BioShock could run. Now, I don't know if Ken Levine made this. I kind of think he did, but it's been so long. I don't know for sure. But.
Yeah.
Metal Hellsinger is over 1 million players since launch. I don't know this because I was too tired to Google it. I'm not going to Google it now, but I wonder if it was on Game Pass. I can't remember. But that was like... like Troy Baker in the Death Stranding 2. With Chained Echoes. Games with gold for January were announced, and they're garbage. Iris Fall and Autonauts.
Okay.
Cancel it. Stop. Just stop. It's like that Michael Jordan.
Stop.
Just stop.
Get some help.
PS Plus essential games for January were announced. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order on PS4 and PS5. Fallout 76, which I thought was free to play. So why does it need to be a PS Plus game? I've been way too lazy to Google it. I don't know if anybody in the Discord ever corrected me, but yeah. And Axiom Verge 2. You never tried it, right?
Because I tried it.
Oh, you
did?
I
tried it, but I didn't even get as far as you did. When you start controlling the little thing, I'm like, I don't like this anymore. And I quit.
Wait until it's the only thing you control. That's when I was like, well, I can't do this.
Yeah.
That's it for episode 3. I don't even know. 308. It's been 2.5 hours. Holy crap.
Thanks, Chris, for hanging with us. I don't know if anybody else is still there. If you are, thank you as well.
But. James, John... I gotta go export this and edit it. Hopefully it'll be up tomorrow for everybody else. But yeah, let's make 2023 kick ass.
Not off to a great start.
Bahamut. But until next week, Sean, go ahead and take us out.
Thank you for playing.